The KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. This is KSL News Radio,
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
9 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Andy Farnsworth. KSL's top story this hour. A 14-year-old was found near the Utah-Idaho border after being separated from his family and spending the night in outdoors extreme conditions. He'd been snowmobiling with his family in Franklin Basin on Saturday when he was separated from the group. Search and rescue looked for him all night and eventually found him when he popped out of a sheltered space Sunday morning.
We have a family who is kind of having their, probably their darkest moment, and their grace and their gratitude really shine through.
Sheriff Kyler Stoker tells KSL TV he was cold, but healthy and happy. The area received 10 to 12 inches of snow overnight and reached temperatures down to negative 15 degrees. Over the weekend, some of the best skiers in the world were here in Utah, taking part in the Freestyle Ski World Cup held at Deer Valley. Heavy snow had organizers rearranging the timing of some of the events, but overall the event being called a great success. The run that was used was the same one at the 2002 Winter Games and will be again when Utah hosts in 2034. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. President Trump says the U.S. Treasury will stop minting new pennies.
This was actually an idea from Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency. There's a lot of debate on this one. Yes, you have people that like paying in cash. They like their coin jars. But there are people that say this is automatically going to increase inflation by having companies round up. On the other end, you have the president who says it costs more than 2 cents to make a single penny, calling it wasteful.
ABC News senior political correspondent Rachel Scott reporting. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up. Coming up, emergency traffic between Utah and Salt Lake County. Both directions having some troubles. KSL traffic and weather is coming up next. KSL News Time 9:02.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Discover the timeless value at Duke's Jewelers, a local treasure since 1948. Whether you're searching for a unique engagement ring or need expert watch repair, Duke's has been serving the community for over 75 years. From January 23rd to 25th, don't miss the largest event of the year, a 50% off closeout sale on select jewelry. It's the perfect time to visit and explore the wide selection of custom designs and quality gemstones. The skilled designers at Duke's can bring your dream piece to life, while experienced jewelers handle repairs and modifications in-house. Duke's Jewelers takes pride in value pricing, ensuring you receive the best prices every day. Need an appraisal? The Duke's Jewelers AGS certified gemologist is here to help. Whether it's hand or machine engraving or redesigning old favorites into something new, get personalized service for every occasion. Visit Duke's Jewelers and experience the difference of locally operated expertise and dedication. Duke's Jewelers in Springfield, Utah.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I've got a deal for you on something that a lot of you probably still need to do this winter. Similar to the way auto manufacturers recommend changing your oil, furnace manufacturers recommend having your system tuned up at least once a year. Normally, we charge $124 to tune up your furnace, but not today. If you call today, Monday, February 10th, and mention you heard this ad, we'll give you $105 off and tune up your furnace for only, wait for it, $19. You won't hear this ad tomorrow, so call Any Hour right now to schedule. 801-443-7400. A furnace tune-up is the best way to extend the life of your furnace and avoid unexpected breakdowns. 801-443-7400. If it's more convenient, go to anyhourservices.com and look for the red button that says Book Online. Schedule your $19 tune-up there. That's a $124 value for only $19, if you get a hold of us today. Call Any Hour Services right now at 801-443-7400. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
I dug right, and this very well could be your very last reminder that Valentine's Day is just around the corner, but there's still time to get that gift card and hopefully make your reservation at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Don't forget, there are 2 wonderful locations. How about a day of skiing on Valentine's Day and then go over to Hotel Park City and have the greatest meal you've ever had? And maybe you simply want to stay in downtown Salt Lake City, catch a movie, go to a concert, a ball game, and then head over to 275 South on West Temple. That's where the downtown location is for Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. From steaks to seafood to poultry and the side dishes and, of course, the desserts, it indeed is a spectacular meal and a great way to tell your Valentine how much they're loved. It's Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Hotel Park City and downtown Salt Lake City for Valentine's Day.
Time to check emergency traffic, brought to you by Mountain America's limited time balance transfer bonus. Here's Heather Kelly.
Well, your longest stretch of delays remain northbound I-15, starting just after SR 92 in Lehigh, over the point of the mountain, up to almost 106 South in Sandy. That was all due to earlier crashes that are now cleared. Your slowest traffic, though, is southbound I-15. The delays don't stretch as long, but you are going to be at a crawl right now as you go from Linden down to University Parkway in Orem, where a crash is still blocking the HOV lane and left shoulder, and speeds just can't get up to normal through that area. Get the best Valentine's gift ever, an original Mink Couture blanket. Save 50% by using promo code KSL50 in stores and online at minkcouture.com. Mink Couture, the best Valentine's gift. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, the storm has passed, but the cold will stick around. Today will be sunny with highs in the upper 30s. Right now it's 27 degrees. I'm Andy Farnsworth from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories. On KSL News Radio, Dave and Dujanovic, special coverage of the top national story.
Nothing gets me more fired up than looking at my car insurance bill, especially when I find out my car insurance is going up. And it has gone up and up and up over the years. I used to pay $75 a month, Dave. I'm up to $153 a month right now. And apparently I'm not alone, because we're looking at this news survey from Bankrate. It says, on average, across the United States, the average monthly cost for a car insurance premium is $220.
We rank 8th in the entire nation for the highest insurance rates. So let me just tell you right now, Deb, I am going to do a serious audit on my cars, what it costs me every single year over the life. I'm going to do a real audit, because I think it is time to make a serious consideration to ditching the car. Like, full on lean into public transportation, Uber, using your feet, because I will stress out. If I ever take an Uber and it's like $12 plus tip, I'm stressing out over it. But I don't give it a second thought. You know, when I'm like, $1,000 in tires, well, that's just what tires cost.
So with this new information about car insurance going up and up and up, and we'll get into the details about specifically like how much the cost is in Utah. It's less than the national average, but not that much less than the national average. Are you willing to give up a car? Could you be a one-car family? It's $1,000 a month on average to own one car. That includes gas, maintenance, car payment, and car insurance. We're going to take live calls, 801-575-TALK, 801-575-TALK, because Dave wants to know, could you be a one-car family? We were. I can talk more about how that worked.
One car.
We were a one-car family for a time. Not forever, but for a time. I'll walk you through how that worked. But we want your live calls, 801-575-TALK. Could you be a one-car family? In Utah, car insurance on average is $177 a month, which adds up to almost $2,000 a year for one car. Now, Dave, you have younger drivers in your family. Mm-hmm. I don't have younger drivers who are teenagers anymore. What's the cost for that for your family?
Yeah, it's higher. Anyone under 25, it's significantly higher. Now, my 3 oldest, they pay their own car insurance. So I'm actually not paying any car insurance for my kids right now, which has been just absolutely wonderful.
Can we pause on that for just a moment? You mean you're not, your kids are moved out of the house, so you don't pay for them anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they pay for their own car insurance.
And how much did that save you when that happened?
Oh, hundreds of dollars. It was, when I had 3 on at the same time, it was $400 or $500 in car insurance for just the teenagers.
So Dave came up with the first life hack on how to save money on your car insurance. Get your older kids to pay for their own car insurance.
Pay for your own.
How old were they when they started paying their own?
As soon as they moved out. So, yeah, 21.
So not helping them anymore.
Yeah,
okay.
No. So there's a few different things. Now, we're focusing on insurance right now, but I think this, for me, is more the straw that breaks the camel's back. Right? Because you have to take all of this into consideration. And for far too long, I've just had this attitude of, oh, that's the cost of doing business. That's what it costs to drive a car. But then I started looking at how much money we are spending. And I don't think about most of my expenses. I think about gas. We talk about gas all the time.
Right.
Insurance. But do you think about the depreciation of your vehicle?
Nope.
Did you know that you will lose 60% of the value of a new car in the first 5 years?
Okay, here's the deal. I said nope too fast. I do think about depreciation the minute I drive it off the lot.
Yeah.
And then I let it go. But I didn't know it was 60%.
60% in the first 5 years. How about parking costs? The cost of traffic. You know, maybe you're paying for that HOV lane, or maybe just the wasted time sitting in traffic, the monthly car wash that you're spending. Maintenance, oil, tires, brakes, all of these things you start factoring into the cost of car. And then you got to put it all together and really do this audit. Like, what are you really spending over the last 5 years? And there's some good breakdowns. The Bureau of Transportation has broken this down. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
There's an easy math equation. It's about 81 cents per mile. So if you're driving 15,000 miles, it's costing you $12,000 a year in the value of the car, gas, maintenance, tires, all of that. About 81 cents per mile.
Yeah. That's where we came up with that $1,000 a month figure. And then you add I think it's let me get to the Utah amount. $177 a month just for automobile insurance for one car. So if you have two people in your family who are obviously, they have to be insured, it's over $350 a month just for automobile insurance. Have you ever thought of going down to just one car, Dave? Could you do it?
I don't think, of course we could do it. It would be so wildly inconvenient to what we're used to. Now, it might 100% be worth it, but it is such a hassle to try to coordinate and then find out bus schedules. But I think that's kind of a spoiled way to look at it, because if we are serious about saving money and we start looking at public transportation and then Uber and then just where you can walk or maybe take a bike, you can save tens of thousands of dollars potentially.
Well, car insurance is one of those things that feels like it just keeps going up. So if you have a car payment, it stays steady. Gas prices fluctuate. Maybe maintenance costs, depending on what breaks on the car, go up or down. But car insurance is one of the things that seems to be an unknown. Just a few years ago, I said it off the top of the show, I was paying $75 a month. I used to pay once a year. I would just pay it in a lump sum, and then I'd have my car insurance bill taken care of for the whole year. Well, it's gotten to the point now where it's $153, and it kind of fluctuates between $150 and $153 a month. I don't exactly know why, but that's double what I was paying just a few years ago. Now, if I got rid of a car, I'd be a no-car family. I would be a no-car family because I don't have a second vehicle. It would just be me and my walking shoes. I have to really take that into consideration. I don't know if I could do that. What would I do if there was an emergency and I needed to evacuate? Could my neighbors come pick me up and take me to where I needed to go? But at one point in my life, we were a one-car family. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. 801-575-TALK. 801-575-TALK. Could you get rid of a car?
Let's jump out to Jake in Magna. Jake, have you done this or are you about to do this?
So when my wife and I were first married, we had one car. The moment we had a kid, that had to change. And I think that that's where it becomes a bit more of an unrealistic expectation, because in emergency situations, you need to have that second car. If my work is 30 minutes away and my wife needs to get to the Instacare for my child, there is no way we're going to stick to one car. And I'm going to be honest here, with all of the conversations I've heard about cost savings with, hundreds of dollars like every month, I would rather focus on the savings we could obtain by what Trump is doing with the federal government. Because if I can get much more of my tax money back, then we don't have to talk about giving up a car that gets my child to the daycare. Or
Jake, I'm wondering, what are you paying on for insurance each month?
for insurance, I'm paying about $250 to $300 for 2 cars.
For 2 cars, okay.
2 cars, 2 drivers?
But I also get my house included because we search out for added benefits because we have a townhome and that's included with that.
So so you're getting a discount based on the fact that you have multiple policies with it. Okay, well that's another hack. So we've had 2 hacks. Dave got his kids off of his car insurance plan. That was a hack to save some money, and Jake is bundling. Is it Jake in Magna? Okay, Jake is bundling for a little bit of a cost saving, a little cost savings there.
And we're taking phone calls again, 801-575-TALK, and I've got some interesting details of how many Americans right now have stopped driving, and it's not just the 85-year-old great-grandpa, right? It is not just the older generation. You're going to be shocked when I tell you how many 19 to 24-year-olds are not even getting their driver's license here in America. Kevin in South Jordan, have you ever thought about this, about maybe reducing the number of cars you have or getting rid of cars altogether?
Well, I only have one, and so, I've got 2, but it's not moving, so I definitely don't carry insurance on the second car that I'm not driving. It's got a blown engine. But the way to save money I have found, I've been with the Save company for 25 years, and just every few years when the rates go through the roof, I go, this is ridiculous, and for some reason, for one reason or another, I end up pricing it with somebody else. So I did that this year because they were, as Debbie had mentioned, they're just going through the roof. It's absolute insanity how high they are. It's the same with homeowners insurance. And so I shopped it to a different company, and I saved on 1 car, 2 homes, $2,500 a year. And so my agent called me up after 25 years, and he says, hey, what's going on? And I says, hey, Shane, we've done this before. I just need to switch. When you switch to another company, you get a new customer discount. Now, the $2,500 a year is more than a new customer discount. And I get it that there are costs involved with paying claims and whatnot. Yeah. But honestly, there is a major effort in not just the auto insurance in this country, but in corporate in general, gouging the public. Now, some of it's justified, some of it's not. But change insurance company, shop it. And then I told him, I says, when it's up in another year and a half, I'll call you back up and we'll do it again. He says, okay, that's the plan.
Well, good for you, Kevin. Kevin, I love that you brought that up because it took me back about 15 years ago. I happened to notice that our homeowners insurance felt like it was going through the roof. No pun intended. So I started shopping it around, and it was, I'm going to guess it was about $2,200 a year. Oh, does that sound about right? I got it down to $800 a year just by shopping it around. And we ended up staying with that new company for years. In fact, I was with them until I ended up selling our home in 2022. So, I think if you shop it around, I think you have to be a little bit careful about that and make sure you're, I think every time you run your credit, for example, and maybe this is worth the price, you run your credit for when you're shopping insurance, you get a little bit of a ding on your credit score, your credit report. But you're going to say, Dave.
And also make sure that it's apples to apples coverage.
Yes, for sure.
Right? That when you're switching your companies, that if you have $500,000 of coverage with this company, that when you're switching, you still have that same $500,000 worth of coverage. So just make sure that it is apples to apples.
So going to the time that we were a one-car family for, it was probably a couple of years back in the 1990s, it can be tricky. However, I will say, because my husband was a police officer, we weren't exactly like without another vehicle, but there was restrictions on that. He couldn't use it outside the county. Oftentimes we wouldn't want to use it when he was off duty, right? Because we didn't want to put the kids in the car. And because police officers truly are never really off duty. Mm-hmm. If you happen to be driving by something, then you are usually automatically back on duty. So we had a Ford Explorer, an older model, and we'd use that. And we would use that for all the road trips and out of county. It takes quite a bit of coordination to make that work. To Jake's point, especially when you start having children. So you got to make sure, you have that flexibility. But there were times when I was without a car at home on the weekends because maybe he needed it to go somewhere, or we're a big snowmobiling family. So he needed to drag the snowmobiles somewhere. So walking outside and not seeing a car there at all. Remember, this is the 90s. You talk about Uber now. There was no Uber back then.
Yeah.
Kind of putting family members that were close to us or neighbors on standby if there was an emergency with one of our 3 kids. It felt a little bit like I was just standing there without any sort of a, path to take if I needed a car right away. So you just got to really have a lot of ability to coordinate. And it would be really tough, too, if you both worked full time and not one of you worked from home.
And that was one of the things that Jake brought up is what happens in an emergency. Where do you go?
Yeah.
Can that Uber get to you in time? Let's go to MJ in Centerville. It looks like you're saying look at some rates.
Definitely look at rates. We've been finding a lot of success with people who have been with agents for a long time and haven't taken the time to look at their policies, and they're saving thousands of dollars per year shopping with other insurance companies, bundling your home, bundling your toys, bundling your autos, taking advantage of student discounts, downloading apps, even simple things like that can really make a big difference.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I saved a little money with one of my car insurance companies because I downloaded the app and then they tracked me. They tracked my driving behaviors. That's when I found out I was going a little too fast on Bangor Highway every morning. Hi, Emily. You say you don't think you should ever pay for your kids' car insurance. You're going to make your kids pay.
Absolutely. So I appreciate all the comments. I think they're all really, really good tips. But, Dave, I was amazed when you said when your kids moved out, you had them pay their car insurance. When my kids sign to get a car, they're paying their car insurance. My take is if they're old enough to literally take hundreds of lives into their hands every time they hit that road, they ought to be old enough to pay for their car insurance.
So 16 years old, you say that is the time. That's when you start paying for it.
Absolutely.
Emily,
Yeah.
I love it. My 15-year-old despises this idea. He's going to start driving here in about 3 weeks. He thinks this is the worst idea ever. I'm warming up to it, though. I think you're onto something.
Do you give him a car? Does he have a car to drive? Not to put you on the spot, but I'm putting you on the spot.
That's in negotiations.
I see.
That's in negotiations. It depends on how much I want to be taxi dad. Because I have been taxi dad for a while now.
Yeah. Hi, Barbara.
Hello.
Hi. So car insurance for some people is just going through the roof. But you're saying, look, public transit might not be a thing for all of us.
You're not just friendly in that way. I mean, we have a subdivision that's 2 miles just south, and we don't even have bus service to our subdivision. So it's just not even an option unless we want to get up. My husband's a school teacher. If he wants to get up an hour early to walk into town and try and coordinate the bus schedule to be at the school on time. I work 30 minutes away from my home, and our work times don't coordinate. We have kids that live at home. It's just not very feasible in Utah to think that you could get away with coordinating one part unless you happen to live downtown and work downtown.
Well, that's the thing. You've got to structure where you live, where you work, where you shop, what you do, where you hang out, all around one location. And we have not been designing communities that way for decades.
About 10% of America doesn't have a driver's license. About 1 in 10 people don't drive. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, oh, well, that's just our moms and dads who we take their driver's license away from them. No, that's actually not. Of that 10%, grandma and grandpa is only about 30% of that. Do you know the age group that is choosing not to get a driver's license at an incredible rate? It's the 19 to 24-year-olds.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the vast majority of these non-driver's license Americans are landing. They're 19 to 24 years old, and they're finding that public transit, Uber, Those are walking, bicycles. These are the decisions they're making. And I think a little bit to Barbara in Santaquin's point, you have to kind of build your life around that. So maybe I live closer to my work, and that way I can remove maybe $1,000 a month worth of car bills, fees, gasoline, maintenance. I think if you look at it seriously and maybe try to adapt your life around it, it's much more doable than trying to adapt our life now.
Look, it's $177 a month on average in Utah for car insurance. You think it's expensive here in the 11 o'clock hour. Wait until you hear how expensive it is in other states. It's far more expensive in other states. But straight ahead, you're worried about the growing cost of taking your family on a trip to Disneyland? Well, we're going to talk about why Disney should be worried as you are about the growing cost.
The newest part of your morning and still so familiar.
When you wake up and listen to a radio show, it's like you're a part of a family. You're listening in on people you know, and it's magnificent that Andy Farnsworth is sitting in the chair because he's someone we know.
Utah's Morning News. Andy Farnsworth joins Amanda Dixon to bring you important news in the car. 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
Yesterday at the family Super Bowl party, I think I tried to single-handedly undermine everything I've learned over the past year with the amount of ribs, wings, and desserts that I had. Salt Lake City fat loss, let's just say it's playing a very big role in today's dietary choices. With Salt Lake City fat loss, I lost 57 pounds in 60 days, and it was incredible to get on the scale every single morning and see pound after pound and pound just shed off my body. So if you're interested in losing some weight, maybe you're just not feeling so great after that Super Bowl party and all the food you ate, there's a great deal going on right now with Salt Lake City Fat Loss. You're going to get an extra $200 off the program here in February. That's the February deal, an extra $200 off the program. So go ahead and reach out to them. You're going to possibly lose up to a pound of fat per day on the Salt Lake City Fat Loss Plan. Go ahead and reach out to them. Schedule a free consultation. Getting to get an extra $200 off this month. So go ahead, give them a call, or check them out online at slcfatloss.com.
You hear that? That's the sound your new water makes just before it gets to your bottle. It's the purest, cleanest, and healthiest water you can possibly drink. At Little Spring Water, it's simply nature in a bottle. Little Spring Water is a family-owned and operated bottled water company right here in Utah, nestled in a beautiful canyon in Bear Lake. This spring has been in the family for 5 generations, and now it can be in your home or office as well. No chemicals, no additives, just pure, clean, healthy water. And because Little Spring Water is local, you can get it at a fraction of the cost at your favorite grocery store. But did you know you can have it delivered right to the office? Give your employees something they can enjoy day after day. And while it's a great way to show appreciation, you should be warned. Once they get a taste of Little Spring Water, they won't ever want to go without it. It's just that good. Little Spring Water. Nature in a bottle. LittleSpringWater.com. Advance your career at the USU Salt Lake Center Leadership Luncheon on February 13th. Accelerate your future, network with others, and gain critical leadership insights provided by the esteemed Utah State Executive MBA faculty and others. Guest speaker Scott Hammond, a professor at the John M. Huntsman School of Business at Utah State University, and an award-winning author and teacher, will inspire you and share how to build a culture of high reliability and lower stress. You've heard him on KSL News Radio. Now come meet him in person for an engaging discussion and quality learning experience. This event is free and includes a delicious lunch from Cafe Rio. Don't miss this opportunity to gain new business leadership skills to advance within your company, make a career change, start a new business, or achieve a life goal. Advance your career at the USU Salt Lake Center, 920 West Lavoie Drive in Taylorsville, February 13th at 11:30 a.m. Get info on the events calendar at UtahStateMBA.com. That's UtahStateMBA.com. Brought to you by the Utah State Executive and Online MBA.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
It's 9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Andy Farnsworth. KSL's top story this hour. Salt Lake City police are asking people organizing protests to make sure they coordinate with the city. This follows a large protest on Saturday against ICE raids, where one demonstrator was hit by a car. The protest organizers did have a permit to march from State Street to the Capitol building, but the protest marched back downtown, causing a traffic jam, and that's when the problems happened.
We had our Salt Lake City Police Department motor squad on hand to make sure that we could shut down traffic as quickly and as safely as possible as this very large group marched down State Street, ultimately to City Hall.
Salt Lake City Officer Brent Weisberg says the large crowd can be alarming for drivers, and they are looking to see if protesters were hitting the car with their hands, which may have spooked the driver that hit the pedestrian. No arrests have been made. Our top national story this hour from ABC News: months of planning and enhanced security appeared to pay off for the city of New Orleans. Super Bowl 59 brought few surprises for police.
The truck ramming that killed 14 people on New Year's Day prompted the addition of stepped-up security. That's to stay in place through the next big event.
Just more worried about after Mardi Gras. How's it going to be?
Pat Weigesbach lives in the New Orleans area.
You can only have so much, so maybe it's a deterrent to keep the crazies out of here, you know?
Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, falls on March 4th this year.
ABC's Jim Ryan reporting. Your money at this moment, the Dow up 41 points to 44,345. Coming up, we've got cold weather and lots of traffic to still fight with this morning. Traffic and weather together coming up next. KSL News Time, 9:32.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
It's complicated. These days, that's how people even describe their relationship status. When it comes to the latest complexities in your car, it's gotten really complicated. The experts at AMCO undergo the most rigorous training to stay on top of the latest car technologies, so there's nothing we can't fix. Well, except for that complicated relationship. When it comes to that, you're on your own. AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free.
Keep your home's HVAC running smoothly year-round with Golden Rule Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. At Golden Rule, we live by a higher standard, treating others the way we want to be treated. That's why we offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you're not happy, we're not happy. Trust us for dependable services in the Valley. Visit goldenrulephc.com.
We obey the rules to live by. Golden Rule Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's limited time balance transfer bonus. Let's check back in with Heather Kelly.
We still have some slowing around the Wasatch Front, mostly on I-15. We have a new crash northbound right before you get to the Pleasant Grove exit. All the vehicles are over on the right shoulder, but there are about 7 or 8 of them, so that is slowing people down through Linden. And then as you continue northbound, you'll still have some brake lights going over the point of the mountain toward Bangerter Highway. That's leftover residual delays from earlier crashes. And then southbound I-15, we still have a crash blocking the HOV lane at University Parkway in Orem, but traffic there is now flowing at freeway speeds. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, the storm has passed as we check KSL weather, but the cold sticking around today. It'll be sunny with highs in the upper 30s. We're not quite to 30 yet. Only 27 degrees in Salt Lake City, although it is sunny. I'm Andy Farnsworth from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
If you're trying to plan a trip to Disneyland for spring or maybe summer for your family, you are the only one worried about the cost. The Wall Street Journal reports even Disney is worried about the high cost of a Disney vacation. And a typical 4-day visit day for a family of 4 to Walt Disney World. Now, this is the Wall Street Journal reporting about Disneyland and Disney World, but Walt Disney World was $4,266 in 2024. And the price to go to Disneyland for a family of 4 can be pretty expensive too.
Just the tickets for 2 days, because let's be honest, you can't roll into Disneyland just for a single day, but a 2-day park pass, family of 4, over $1,100. Just that doesn't even count the ginormous turkey leg you're going to get. Like when you buy 4 of those turkey legs, that's going to set you back probably another $1,200. Those things are amazing, but yeah, it's just incredibly expensive right now, and it keeps going up, in part because inflation, in part because people are just willing to pay these prices.
Have you totally dismissed the idea of taking your entire family back to Disneyland?
Oh, for sure, because I've got a family of 7 now. You know, if we took everybody, kids, wife, spouses, everybody coming, it would be so outrageously expensive. Now, here's the problem that I'm running into. You think, oh, okay, well, I won't pay for Disneyland, so let's look at maybe a cruise to Mexico. Well, guess what? That's not that cheap either, right? Vacationing in general has just exploded. Unless you're going to staycation, unless you're going to travel close or maybe drive down to the national parks, and there's things you can do on the cheap, but it feels like anywhere you travel right now is just taking it in the teeth.
Well, I want to just look at this a little more closely with Disneyland. 2 days of park tickets for a family of 4, according to Wall Street Journal, is $1,123. 2 days of park tickets for a family, $1,100, so almost $1,200. And then if you want to skip the line on popular rides, it's the extra $208. You have to pay more for that. It's been a minute since I've been to Disneyland. If you want a meal with the costume characters, I frankly would skip this stuff. When we did take the kids to Disneyland, we didn't do any of that special dining with Donald and Daisy Duck.
It is pretty cool though.
$220 almost. And if you want some bubble wands, a couple of those, it's $60. I would just, as a mom of 3, I would just cringe inside when my kids would want to go into those little touristy trap type of gift shops. Because I was like, oh, how much is this going to cost me? And
how much are the goofy ears?
And when I was reading the article in the Wall Street Journal that you actually flagged this morning, maybe this stood out to you too. The family that they highlighted in this article, the mom was sitting back there like, oh, how much more is this going to cost? Oh, so as adults, when we go to Disneyland, we're just, our brains are on constant calculator mode. Like, how much more is this going to cost? And you have had this experience with your water and banana.
My $9 water and banana. I will never let this go. I will never, as long as I live, let Disney off the hook for this, because I wanted 1 water and 1 banana. They're like $9 straight face, straight to my eyeballs, and I paid it because I was desperate. But when you look in general, we're picking on Disney, right? No question, because this is one of the most popular places in the entire world. But in general, I think we just have to be more realistic about what things are going to cost, because you can look at the 2-day park pass and you're going to spend $1,100 on the tickets. But you can't go and not get the Mickey ears. You're not going to get a sweatshirt, or you're not going to get a banana. Of course you are. You're going to get all of these things. So you just have to realistically go into these places and say, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. You say, I'd probably skip the Donald and the Daisy Duck thing.
We did.
You for sure did.
My kids have never complained to me.
But
as adults, they've never come to me and said, we're ruined.
Yeah.
Because you didn't allow us to have lunch with Mickey. They never said anything about that.
But does it really make that much difference when you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars to cut out Mickey and Donald?
For some people it does.
For a couple $100. No question. I'm just saying it's very easy to lean into the full experience, right? Because it's right there. And we've heard story after story after story of people saying, oh, yeah, you get there, you're caught up in the moment, and you're like, I'll put it on the credit card.
Really? No budget? Budget goes out the window. Justification kicks in, and now we're into it for thousands of dollars. I think looking back, we didn't do Disney as often as some families did. I would once they invented Facebook and I started seeing how often some people went to Disneyland or they claimed to be going to Disneyland, I'm like, I don't know how y'all are affording it. You must be putting it on the credit card. We didn't go to Disney that often. And again, my kids have never said to me, oh, you know what? We're ruined because we never, we didn't get to go on a small world enough. Disney this has been kind of an interesting thing for Disney as well, or that's something that they're at least very aware of, because in late 2023, the company did, some surveys that showed the number of guests planning to return, after they leave the park, they're surveyed. The number of guests planning to return to the park had dropped sharply, according to the Wall Street Journal. And attendance increased, but year over year, but it was actually down from years before. So it started, I think maybe the price is catching up with patrons. They're like, oh, I don't know if I can, and I don't want to spend $60 for 2 bubble wands. Can you not say no?
Well, I look at
say
it.
No, you can't do the Mickey ears.
And this is what's difficult, and I think what they're trying to balance is you may win the battle, Disney, but you're losing the war. So if you've just turned the Noriega family and the Dujanovic family into, hey, we'll go do this once,
yeah,
and that's enough, and we've had the experience because it was so expensive, then you've lost the families that are going back every single year or maybe multiple times during a year. So sure, you gouged me every corner, every step along Mickey Lane, and then I'm done. I'm like, okay, well, that's what we did that one time. What I'm looking for, what I think would be more interesting, a better business model is you're saying, hey, I'm going to try to create this as a habitual thing that families are doing every year, every few years, that you're enjoying it at all different ages, because your kids are going to enjoy Disneyland at 5 or 6 years old in a completely different way than when they're 16 years old. And you can still have fun at 16.
And do parents really ever enjoy Disneyland? Because I do remember worrying a lot about how much is this going to cost us when all is said and done, and I hope I don't lose my children today. Now, Disney does a great job. If your kids, I've had that experience. But I spent a lot of time at Disneyland kind of just trying to herd my children around, make sure nobody gets lost, and worried about every single penny that we're spending over budget. 801-575-TALK. Disney surveys say the number of customers planning return trips, according to their survey, has dropped off. Are you among those Disney lovers thinking of not returning to Disneyland because you just can't afford it anymore? 801-575-TALK. Let's take your live calls next.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I've got a deal for you on something that a lot of you probably still need to do this winter. Similar to the way auto manufacturers recommend changing your oil, furnace manufacturers recommend having your system tuned up at least once a year. Normally, we charge $124 to tune up your furnace, but not today. If you call today, Monday, February 10th, and mention you heard this ad, we'll give you $105 off and tune up your furnace for only, wait for it, $19. You won't hear this ad tomorrow, so call Any Hour right now to schedule. 801-443-7400. A furnace tune-up is the best way to extend the life of your furnace and avoid unexpected breakdowns. 801-443-7400. If it's more convenient, go to anyhourservices.com and look for the red button that says Book Online. Schedule your $19 tune-up there. That's a $124 value for only $19, if you get a hold of us today. Call Any Hour Services right now at 801-443-7400. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Gain Super Flings are here to take your laundry to the next level.
Talking about Gain Super Flings. Super-sized laundry packs. These things are huge. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings laundry packs have 4 times the Oxy cleaning power and 3 times the Febreze freshness versus Gain Original Liquid.
Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings for next level laundry.
At JCW's, we think tipping might be getting a little out of hand. Like when you're asked to tip at the register before you've even been served, or when you're at the yogurt shop and find yourself serving yourself. And don't even get us started on frosted tips making a comeback. That's why at JCW's, when you pay for a 3rd-pound ranch bacon cheeseburger, that's what you pay. And no one at the register is going to stare longingly at you while you awkwardly maneuver through the tip screen for food you don't even have yet. Honestly, we're just happy to see you at any of our 5 locations in Provo, South Jordan, Lehigh, Harriman, and American Fork. So come on in and enjoy some quality time and great food with family and friends. And we promise, we won't be pushing you for a tip.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's, and we just want to say thank you, and especially to our loyal customers. We want you to know that at JCW's, your business is all the tip we need. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
David Dujanovic.
We'll set aside the skip the line pass for now at Disneyland. Are you just going to skip Disneyland altogether in the future because of the cost? Wall Street Journal breaking it down, as they've done in the past, the cost of a trip to Disneyland, where a lot of Utahns drive. What is it, a 7-8 hour drive, 10-hour drive? 2-day park tickets for a family of 4, $1,123.
It's chunky. It is a big old fatty. So are you interested? 801-575-TALK. We'd love to hear from you. What's your relationship right now with Disneyland? I had a friend that would get season passes every single year, and his family would make multiple trips, like once a month. They would drive from Utah to California because they loved it. Right? That was what their family did. I worry now, though, that it has become so expensive that you may be able to do Disneyland once. Maybe it's kind of like a cruise. You don't do the same cruise over and over and over again. Is that what you're doing now with Disneyland? Is it a one and done, or are you just biting the bullet and continuing your family traditions? Let's jump out to Eric in Springville. It sounds like you've got a plan, a scheduled Disneyland trip here coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah, just the next few weeks, actually.
And are you expecting to put things on a credit card once you get there, Eric? Buy now, pay later?
A little cash saved up.
Good.
But I'm still, getting pretty nervous about it, especially after hearing you guys. $30 waffle cones later, those add up.
Well, one of our texters, Eric, said that they packed their lunches, which helped save a lot of money, and instructed Dave to bring his own banana next time.
Yeah.
So definitely
nothing travels like a banana.
About the $9 banana.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely check on those money hacks for Disneyland. Also, I've noticed their pricing throughout the year fluctuates. So it's a little more expensive, looked like to me, just a quick check in, for example, June, than it is like this time of year. You can almost save like $50 per ticket. So there's ways to work around it. Ways to work around the, maybe those really, really super high prices and just get it for a little cheaper.
So, Eric, are you like a one and done kind of guy with Disneyland? Is this like, hey, let's go have the experience, or are you looking to do this on a more consistent basis?
You know what? Here's the catch, actually, is we've got young kids, and it's going to be my first time in a very long time since I was a young kid and our young kids' first times. So we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You experience it differently, right? When I went, I love all the big rides, but when you've got a 6-year-old, that, isn't quite tall enough to go on the Incredicoaster, it changes it. So, Eric, hey, have a great time. Enjoy Disneyland in the next few weeks. I hope that you don't hit peak time, peak price every step of the way.
Lisa, you live in Heber, but it sounds like your daughter surprised you with a trip to Disneyland.
She didn't surprise me. She surprised her two daughters.
Her
They're
own
8
daughters.
and 10.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
how did that go with the pricing?
Well, so she had been planning for 6 months, and she had T-shirts bought for every single day. She had a toy bought for every day, and it was right before Halloween, so they took their Disney costumes. My daughter's really good with doing nails and makeup, and so every morning when the girls woke up at Disney, she had everything set out for that day for them. And, she planned it early, so she found cheaper flights, and she really, really tried to make it affordable for them. She still never told me how much it cost, but I feel she put so much planning into it and took the Disney shirts and the souvenirs with her so that they weren't going into the souvenir stores.
So fiscally smart to do it that way, because the souvenirs are really what kind of get you, right? I mean, and also if you can figure out a way to, make it really special. Like, it sounded like the whole experience was really special.
A shirt for every day?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Lisa, can I get your daughter's name, number? She is Disney planner for the Noriega family from here on out, because that is fantastic. That's so smart.
She is a planner, and she really did do it up for her girls, so they had a blast. And there were 2 days they wore Disney costumes because it was, before Halloween.
Yeah.
So they fit into the park, and you would have never known that they didn't buy anything at the park,
So smart. So
Love
smart.
it.
Thanks for sharing. On our text line at 57500, listener says, it's too expensive to go to Disneyland, especially when you're waiting for 2 hours for a ride, is what they're trying to say. They didn't quite say it all, but when you're waiting 2 hours for a ride, well, you can pay for the skip the line pass, but that adds up too, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's just another expense.
And when you're a first-time goer, the fast pass or the quote-unquote skip to the front of the line pass, it is not really skip to the front of the line pass, by the way. When you're a first-time goer, you don't know exactly how to navigate all of this. When you have some seasoned Disneyland vets that go in and they know every trick of the trade, and they are just going to be better at it than you are. So it is tricky. It's hard to justify it when you are waiting 2 hours in a line. I get frustrated with Disneyland because I think they overbook the park. I think if I'm paying hundreds and thousands of dollars at this park, you've got to give me a better experience than standing in a line for 2 hours. And let's not say this is a surprise. You have got things chained off and coordinated. You've built it this way so that you can have people standing in line for 2 hours.
Well, you just said something about the skip the line pass that baffled me. You said it doesn't really get you to the front of the line. Do you have experience? I don't remember.
Yeah, if you get a fast pass, if you get the quote unquote skip to the front of the line pass, it's just like a second line. You have the tortoise line, and then you have the hare line. And it's a little bit faster, but I've been in fast pass lines for an hour and a half before as well. So
it's better than waiting in the turtle line.
Yeah,
the tortoise line, like you said.
The 4 hour line.
Dave and I talking about a Wall Street Journal article. It was published 2 days of park tickets for a family of four, at least that they looked at this family's budget. It ran $1,123. Passes that let them skip the line on those popular rides, $208. A meal with the costume characters, Donald and Daisy Duck, almost $220. And then they added in the bubble wands as well. Mickey Mouse bubble wands for almost $61.
And the bubble wands are a bargain compared to if you go to Universal Studios and you get a Harry Potter wand. That's the one that's like $125. So the bubble wands for $60, that seems like a bargain to me.
You can make Harry Potter wands. We did that.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
Grab a stick.
Yeah.
You cut it.
Exactly. And you carve it.
And you wave it.
Yeah. And that was I will say that we also bought a Harry Potter wand, so there you go. We still ended up paying a lot of money.
Still got nabbed.
Yeah. Straight ahead, President Trump pushing to get rid of the penny. And Dave says this is a move that likely will not crash our economy. Find out why he says that next.
At KSL News Radio, we have a 30-year legacy of honoring Utah teachers, but we can't do it without your help. Please tell us about an important teacher in your life on the KSL Teacher Tribute Wall, presented by Cypress Credit Union. Each month, one lucky teacher wins a $500 gift card from Cypress Credit Union, a $250 gift card to Harmon's, plus season tickets to Hale Center Theater. Say thanks to your teacher today at kslnewsradio.com/teacher from Cypress Credit Union and KSL News Radio. Boy, right after the holidays, everyone needs a little cash, right?
Oh, yes.
We have great news for you. Right now, UCCU, Utah Community Credit Union, will pay you for your auto loan and credit balances. So all you have to do is just transfer your auto loan or your credit card balance to UCCU. And on top of giving you a low interest rate, which will save you money, UCCU will give you 1% cash back up to $250 on every loan you transfer.
Amanda, as soon as I heard about this, I said, I'm in this exact situation. I transferred. I actually had to have 2 loans to get my car a year ago.
Yeah.
Long story. Got it consolidated into one, and they paid me 1% back for each thing. I've got 1 payment now instead of 2. It's so much easier, and it took me maybe basically an hour. I just went straight to the website. I applied. They said, you got to send me these documents. I did, and all of a sudden, within a couple of days, I had it all set.
This is how easy they are to work with, always looking for ways to help you and your family. You can find out more on the UCCU mobile banking app or just go to uccu.com/transfer. Utah Community Credit Union. You're going to love where you bank.
Hey, this is Dan, the laptop man from PC Laptops. Myth. You might have heard that you need to spend a fortune these days to get a powerful computer. Correction. At PC Laptops, we wanted to prove that wrong. So here's the most amazing deal that we've ever done at PC Laptops for you in over 30 years. The new 2025 S1 desktop or SM3 laptop for only $999. You heard that right, $999. You get a blazing fast processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and over a terabyte of blazing storage for $999. What else do you get? Lifetime service warranty, and we have 12 months special financing on approved credit. Take one home today. Hurry in right now because supplies are limited, because at PC Laptops, we love you. Just check us out at PCLaptops.com. $999, PCLaptops.com.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. And did you know that we get a bunch of service calls per year from people who didn't even hire us? That means they originally hired someone else to replace their siding, gutters, and windows. Then later, when a problem popped up, they tried to call their contractor back to fix it, only to find out that the contractor has ceased to exist. They're gone, done, out of business. At RGS Exteriors, we've been serving Utah for 70 years. As a 5th-generation owned contractor, we've got customers who are the grandkids of our customers we had in the 1950s and 60s. We're not going anywhere. We will be here when you need us, period. For siding, gutters, and windows, now and forever, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit at rgsexteriors.com. That's 801-280-3110 or rgsexteriors.com.
Old Spice Swagger Body Wash will make you the MVP of freshness and confidence. With its irresistible scent, it will transform your shower experience, leaving you feeling fresh on and off the field. Pair it with Old Spice Swagger Deodorant, the #1 aluminum-free brand that keeps you feeling like a Super Bowl champion 24/7 when used daily. But don't wait. This dynamic duo is available at Costco for a limited time only. Old Spice, official deodorant partner of the NFL and Super Bowl 59, where freshness meets football greatness.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Andy Farnsworth. KSL's top story this hour. Investigators are not ruling out arson as a possible cause for a fire that damaged close to $5 million of new apartments.
The framed apartments caught fire early Saturday morning. Provo Fire and Rescue tells the Daily Herald the fire started in one of the buildings, then spread to two others and caused smoke damage to a fourth. The damage is estimated at $1.5 million per building. The ATF has sent a certified fire investigator to the scene. Provo Police Public Information Officer Jana Lee Holland says they will be looking at all possible causes. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Scientists are closely watching a mutation of the bird flu in Nevada because it's a good number of dairy cows. And now there's a human case.
Dairy farmer in the state was screened and tested positive for what's being called D1.1, which is a subset of the H5N1 virus currently affecting birds. Now, the reason why this is concerning is because D1.1 has been associated with 2 severe human infections in North America, including 1 death.
In the last 3 months, there have been 48 million bird flu cases, according to the Department of Agriculture. Thousands of birds are washing up on the shores of the Great Salt Lake because of the bird flu. Experts say the amount of dead-eared grebes washing up has reached 25,000. Anyone who sees a group of dead birds should contact the Division of Wildlife Resources. Your money at this moment, the Dow's up 93 points to 44,396. Coming up, storms lining up in the weather. KSL weather and traffic is next. KSL News Time 10:01. The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I've got a deal for you on something that a lot of you probably still need to do this winter. Similar to the way auto manufacturers recommend changing your oil, furnace manufacturers recommend having your system tuned up at least once a year. Normally, we charge $124 to tune up your furnace, but not today. If you call today, Monday, February 10th, and mention you heard this ad, we'll give you $105 off and tune up your furnace for only, wait for it, $19. You won't hear this ad tomorrow, so call Any Hour right now to schedule. 801-443-7400. A furnace tune-up is the best way to extend the life of your furnace and avoid unexpected breakdowns. 801-443-7400. If it's more convenient, go to anyhourservices.com and look for the red button that says Book Online. Schedule your $19 tune-up there. That's a $124 value for only $19, if you get a hold of us today. Call Any Hour Services right now at 801-443-7400. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Bish's is skipping this year's big RV show for a big reason. It costs each dealer a fortune, and guess who gets stuck with the bill? Yep, you. So skip the big show expense and come to the Bish's RV Better Than Show Pricing on-site event, February 13th through the 15th at Bish's RV of Salt Lake and American Fork. You'll get free admission, free parking, and Better Than Show pricing on our entire inventory at both locations. Not just a few models we hauled to the show. Find pricing starting as low as $139 per month on approved credit, and make 0 payments until May 08. OAC. Plus, every remaining new 2024 on the lot is on clearance. And Bish's is the only place to shop the exclusive full lineup of Wayfinder RVs. Start shopping the best deals now at skipthervshow.com. Get free admission to the Better Than Show pricing on-site event, February 13th through the 15th at Bish's RV in Salt Lake and American Fork, where memories begin. OAC, based on 20% down, 8.99% APR for 180 months. Stock number is 84832, 84308. Subject to prior sale. See delivery details. Deal number 822B426B.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's limited time balance transfer bonus. Here's Heather Kelly.
Well, we're finally delay-free on the I-15 corridor, both in Salt Lake and Utah counties, but crews are still dealing with a crash northbound I-15 just before Pleasant Grove. All the vehicles are over on the right shoulder. Tow trucks have arrived on scene, so hopefully that'll be cleaned up within the next 20 minutes or so. Other than that, you're going to have a pretty good drive if you're on the east and west side belt routes. Bangerter Highway, as always, has a bit of congestion right around the 201 freeway interchange, but you're going to have good speeds if you're on I-80 through Parley's Canyon. The Murdoch Auto Team is celebrating 100 years of winter journeys at Murdoch Hyundai. Right now, receive 1.99% for 4 years on the Santa Fe or 2.99% for 4 years on the Elantra. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather now. We will have highs in the 30s for the next 3 days with a chance for some snow flurries on Tuesday. Then on Thursday, a bigger storm should bring some rain to the valleys and snow in the mountains. That storm could hang on through Saturday. Right now, it is 28 degrees and sunny in Salt Lake City. I'm Andy Farnsworth from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
It costs the United States 3.7 cents to produce and then distribute 1 penny. That was the latest information from just last year. So with prices going up, who knows how much it'll cost in 2025. President Trump posted on social media last night after the Super Bowl game that he wants to get rid of the penny.
Doesn't that just sum up so much of our country right now? Like the actual currency itself, the penny is not even worth a fraction of the penny. It is literally a fraction of the penny. It costs almost 4 cents to make a penny. What are we doing with the penny? And this isn't like a recent revelation. About 10 years ago, I went to Denver and I toured the Denver Mint. And it was the exact same story back then. They're like, yeah, we're trying to figure out if we still want to keep producing the penny because it costs more in materials and time and manufacturing than the penny itself is worth. So why do we keep printing pennies?
They've actually been talking about this since 1989, though, back in D.C. So 1989 was the year I graduated from college. That was a long, long time ago. There was some legislation, I think, was introduced, or at least it was talked about back in 1989. Here's another discussion before we get into, should we keep the penny or should we not get rid of it? We're going to take live calls. Do you want to ditch the penny? Is it time? 801-575-TALK. 801-575-TALK. We're going to take your live calls. But the other angle I want to talk about is you've said when we were in the newsroom, you're like, oh, it's not going to crash the economy. Why did you say that?
Because it's a penny. It's insignificant at this point, right? I mean, if you're looking back to the good old Little House on the Prairie days, sure, you could take a penny and you get 4 lollipops, at the local general store. A penny is insignificant now. And to say otherwise is just lying to ourselves. Nobody's budget is getting crashed because we've got to round up from $2.04 to $2.05.
Well, let's talk about that rounding up in just a moment. But I actually think there's a better argument to be made than, oh, it's just a penny, no big deal. Canada stopped minting the penny in 2012. So we have a North American precedent for this. Now, they didn't take it out of circulation necessarily, but they stopped minting it in 2012. And Canada joined a really long line of other countries since the 90s that have stopped producing the penny. There's a long line of countries that have done this. And have economies crashed because they got rid of the penny? No. So I think the proof is in the precedent, where other countries have long since done away with minting their version of the penny. And in some cases, other countries have also not minted other coins as well. They've stopped minting those. So there's a precedent there. And economies are not collapsing because we got rid of the penny. But the curiosity factor for me is, what happens when I only have cash? Yeah, there's still a lot of Americans who shop with cash. I happen to have been leaning into lately using credit card more and more. But what happens if you shop with cash or I guess a credit card, and something comes up at $12.01? Do I get the benefit of the round down, or am I stuck with we always round up? Because I don't want to be spending an extra 4 cents every single time I shop. That starts to add up. So what's your experience with the roundup, Brian? You said you've actually been to a store that did this.
Yeah, I had a store. In fact, Walmart has done this in the past as well, where they will price something at 94 cents. So they take into account sales tax so that when you actually go and purchase it, it is a cool, hard buck. It's $1, not a penny more, not a penny less. And I think that's ultimately, out of convenience, what stores will start doing is they'll just adjust their prices. So it's very easy to do. They do this all the time. So they just need it to land on either 5 cents more or 5 cents less. Make it fall within the nickel, and problem solved. I think people will fix this because stores have a problem right now with having enough coins in general, because people make so many digital purchases. They don't carry these vast amounts of cash and coins like they used to. In fact, the place where I go get my daily refill of Diet Coke, actually they were in such a coin shortage. They say, if you can bring us $10 in coins, we'll give you a free soda. We'll give you $10 in cash. We'll give you cold hard cash for your coins, plus you'll get a free soda, because it's just we don't use coins like we used to.
How often do you use cash or currency?
I never use coins. I never carry coins in my pocket. I don't have a coin purse. I never carry it.
But I thought you had a piggy bank.
So when I do pay in cash, I'll get my coins and I throw it in my car. I'll throw it in the middle console, and then I gather them up and I put it in Mr. Pig. I don't have a piggy bank. He has a name, Debbie. It's been Mr. Pig since I was 8 years old.
I stand corrected.
And then every year I take my change, I roll them up, and I take them to the bank and I cash it out. But I don't ever use actual coins.
Yeah. So you wouldn't miss the penny.
No. In fact, I don't think we're doing enough. In fact, I say get rid of the penny, but let's get rid of the nickel as well. How much did you say the penny is costing us?
3.7 cents to make and distribute each penny.
Okay,
last year.
It costs basically 4 times what it is worth.
And it's gone up year over year. The cost to produce it and send it out into circulation is up 20% from the previous year. So it's becoming more and more expensive.
Okay, so the penny is not just worthless, it is costing us massive amounts, and we're talking millions of dollars. The nickel, exact same problem. It costs 11 cents to produce the nickel.
Where are you getting that?
Learn.apmex.com. So
okay,
they have a nice job of breaking this down.
Okay, I wanted to source that.
But yeah, it costs 11 cents for the nickel. Now, the dime is only 5 cents to produce. The quarter is only 11 cents to produce.
Okay, so the dime and the quarter cost less to produce than what it's worth. And
less than the nickel.
Yeah, and President Barack Obama, I believe the year was 2011 or so? I'm going to go back and fact check myself on this. He actually said, look, I think we got to start looking at this stuff when it costs us more to produce and circulate it than its actual value. So we've been talking about this for a long time, ditching the penny. President Trump posting about this after the Super Bowl last night on social media that he wants to or will direct the Treasury Secretary to stop production of pennies, citing cost inefficiencies. And it's costs a lot more than it's worth. But I think the larger discussion, are you going to miss it? You know, a penny for your thoughts. We're going to just say a nickel for your thoughts. You throw now a quarter into a fountain for good. When I find a penny, pick it up. What? Right? Am I going to have good luck? Does that apply to a dime? I mean, these are all the things that I think about. That's all just based on the nostalgia. And I used to collect wheat pennies. Remember, those were that's like from I don't know, early on. I used to collect wheat pennies. You know what happened to my wheat penny collection? My husband didn't realize I was collecting wheat pennies. Apparently, this was a fallout in our communication skills back when we were first married. And I had them in my jewelry drawer. Like I had a drawer in the dresser full of jewelry, and I had my wheat pennies. My grandpa would give them to me. And I lined them all up. Well, when our daughter turned about 3 years old and she started becoming fascinated with coins, she would do something. She would do a good deed, and he would reward her with a penny, not realizing he was rewarding her with wheat pennies.
Yes.
From my collection. So the wheat pennies were going into the big. We had a huge
penny
piggy bank.
jar.
Huge. Well, it was a baby bottle somebody gave to me when at my baby shower. Huge baby bottle. I was like 3 feet tall. I'm sure this thing was at some point dangerous because it was so filled up with coins. Well, all my wheat pennies had gone into the baby bottle full of coins.
Not sorting this.
No, and then we took it to the bank and we turned in all of my wheat pennies, and I wept when I found
my wheat pennies.
But I have since learned that it's really hard to score big on any single wheat penny, so that's how I justify forgiveness.
They were only worth the
Grandpa's
penny anyway.
Wheat penny went into circulation. We're taking live calls, 801-575-TALK. Is it time to just get rid of the penny? Justin, hi. You are worried like I am about the round up, round down. Justin's on line 3. We're skipping to line 3, guys. Hi, Justin. Are you there? Who's on the line?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, he can hear you now.
Who's this?
Okay. This is Justin from Orem.
Hi, Justin. You time to get rid of the penny?
No, well, I mean, it's debatable. I think that how would it happen? Are we going to round up or are we going to round down? Because if you get rid of it, then everything is going to round up to the nearest 5 cents, or what used to cost 51 cents will now be 55 cents and stuff like that. So
right.
I think and we're already dealing with inflation. I think it would add up faster than what we're thinking. And then you add taxes to that and different stuff,
Thanks, Justin. We appreciate the phone call. Sue, what do you think? Sue from West Valley is joining us right now. Are you getting hung up on the round up, round down as well?
Well, I've lived in Australia and Canada, which both got rid of the penny ages ago. And you round down if it's less than 2 cents. You round up if it's under 5 cents. You round down if it's 6 or 7 cents, and then you round up if it's 8 or 9 cents. So it all evens out. Nobody's getting ripped off, and I think it's a great idea to get rid of the penny.
Sue, thank you. I love that you've lived in a couple different places that got rid of the penny, and yeah, it does. I think it does even out, and I think companies are going to make it as easy as possible, right? We don't like $8.03, and we're like checking out our pockets, and we're trying to see if there's a take a penny, leave a penny, and then what if you take 2 pennies instead of just? It's a nightmare. The pennies are the worst. I love your point of view, Sue. You're like, it all evens out. There's going to be some round downs. You'll get some round ups, but it all evens out.
To your point about leaving a penny, I think anytime we start leaving coins willingly, like at the cash register, we must not care that much about it.
Exactly. No one's leaving a $50. No one's taking a good old silver dollar and be like, leave a silver dollar, pick it up.
For the next customer, Barack Obama, February 15th, 2013, saying he thinks it's time to retire the penny. Yeah, anytime we're spending money on something people don't actually use, that's an example of things we should probably change. And it's costing a lot more to make a penny than than it's actually worth. So it's been talked about for decades.
And this is what is so silly about our system right now. This now, all of a sudden, is a bipartisan issue. Donald Trump wants to get rid of the penny. Barack Obama wanted to get rid of the penny. But we're still debating whether or not we're going to keep the penny. It costs 4 times what it's worth to produce. It's costing millions of dollars a year.
Let's go to Ruth in Kaysville. You use cash every day?
Yes, I do every day. I hardly ever use my card. My husband gives me my allowance in cash. And so that's how I keep track of, that's my budget. But I go and people don't like cash anymore. They prefer the card. Yep. And so I try really hard to use exact change. So I do keep my change in my wallet so that I can do that so that people are not so frustrated when I give them a 10 and they have to give me change back.
Yeah, they got to count backwards. I noticed too, Ruth, maybe you noticed this. I gave cash to somebody the other day, and my purchase came to like $2.17, and I gave her a 5, and it took her a hot minute to figure out how to count. Well, she had to count up, basically.
Yeah.
People have a hard time counting cash.
Oh, I'm sorry. The youth today do not know how to count cash, and it just is so frustrating because on more than one occasion, I've been honest with them and said, "Oh, sweetie, your till's going to be off if you give me that. You owe me da-da-da-da, not what you're giving me."
Yeah. I've almost driven away with an extra $1 from time to time, but thankfully for them, I'm super honest, and I would just feel so guilty about it. I've turned around and gone back and given them I've counted it for them. Richard, do you like the idea of ditching the penny? Are you there, Richard, on line 3? We got Richard.
Hi, this is Richard. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Richard.
Here's my thought. What about all of the pennies that are not in circulation? You mentioned about collecting pennies and putting them in a bottle.
Yep.
I've got a bunch of bottles around here. I think I've probably got at least $10 in uncirculated pennies sitting in my house. Why doesn't the government consider giving people 2 cents for every one they turn in, which is a lot less than paying 5 cents to make them?
Richard, you solved it. You solved it. We will turn it in. We will recirculate it because I am a penny hoarder as well. I 100% hoard all of my coins. There you go. I would take the 11 cents from the government for all of my nickels, and I'll take 4 cents for all of my pennies.
In 1992, Australia removed 1 cent and 2 cent coins from circulation. So I was wondering if there are countries that have actually removed the coin from circulation, don't just stop minting it. And in this article in Time magazine says Australia removed both its 1 cent and 2 cent coins from circulation in 1992. Doesn't say if they paid people to haul in their 1 cent and 2 cent coins, but they did remove them from circulation.
Now, it made a lot of sense to use coins because coins, their circulation life is far higher than paper. In fact, the breakdown, it's about 33 years for a coin. That's how long it will stay in circulation.
Oh, that's
for paper, it's only 6 years. 6-7 years.
It gets ripped.
It does. It gets beaten up. It gets passed over, and it just coins last forever. So I get why we were doing coins, but let's stop pretending like the penny or the nickel is changing the world for us.
Well, it's just nostalgic. I think it's hard to get rid of something that we've had around, I think, since the 1700s. Fact check me on that. Logan, an American Fork, you think we should just ditch the penny?
Yeah, I do. I think that it'd be good for our country, and here's what I believe. I believe that, in the spirit of my faith, I don't believe that the God I know would allow me to go broke if I had to round up several times a week. I think that I think that that's good for our country.
I just want to know when it's going to land in my favor. That's all. Sometimes I just want something to be rounded down and not up. You know what I mean?
I feel that too.
Yeah,
I do.
exactly. Like I always feel like, its taxes are always more than I anticipated. Something's going to cost more than I thought. And if I have to round up every purchase, I will be bothered.
Let's be 100% honest. Who of us have not gone to the store, the grocery store, and when it lands on the perfect number, like it's $100 exactly, don't we celebrate? Like, doesn't everybody kind of get excited? You're like high-fiving the cashier, like, nice job, you hit exactly $50. We despise the penny. We despise it, whether we're Republicans or whether we're Democrats. We all despise it. We all think it's silly. So let's just come together. Bring America together and get rid of the penny.
Join the smartest conversation in Utah, the team of analysts and political advisors that make up Inside Sources. Get unfiltered analysis of the new administration, the president's cabinet, and Utah's upcoming legislative session. Inside Sources, weekdays from 1 to 3 on KSL News Radio.
What if your limited inventory had unlimited potential? What if your biggest risk was not taking one? What if you could make every move matter? Bank of America's Business Solutions can help bring your biggest what-ifs within reach. Find out how our digital tools, cutting-edge insights, and trusted expertise can work for your business. What would you like the power to do? Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not requiring what's sold to be best just suitable. Advisors with this loose standard often have limited investment and product selection. Trajan Wealth is held to a fiduciary standard, which is the highest standard of care in the advisory business. And that's just one of the many reasons we have billions of dollars under our care and attract clients from other advisors. Raise your standards today and call Trajan Wealth. Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
If there's a problem during your siding, gutter, or window installation project, most contractors will try to hide it, ignore it, or blame someone else. It's called passing the buck or turning a blind eye, or my favorite, finger pointing. My question is, where is the accountability? Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and look, sometimes problems just happen, no matter who you hire. Maybe the wrong color siding gets delivered, despite the order being placed perfectly. Or maybe a downspout gets cut short. Honestly, it could be anything. At RGS Exteriors, mistakes are rare. But if something goes wrong, I can absolutely, positively, 100% guarantee you we'll never hide it, and we'll never pass the buck. We'll make certain everything turns out right for you. That's people over profits. That's the RGS Exteriors way. For a free estimate on siding, gutters, or windows, call 801-280-3110, rgsexteriors.com, rgsexteriors.com.
Jeff Kaplan. I'm energized by breaking news. First of all, because it's right now, and second of all, because in many cases the audience needs to know. There's no more important service that we can provide, and I find it critically important to get more details to the audience as quickly as possible. There's nothing more energizing than that for me. Not at all. The most important thing we do is breaking news. I am gratified that so many people listen to me every afternoon on KSL, but what they don't know is that there are so many people behind the scenes making it happen, checking on the traffic, answering the phones, making the calls, talking to the newsmakers. They're out in the street, into the field to get the raw information, and then putting it all together so that I can sit in front of a microphone and be a source of information every afternoon. But there are so many people who make it happen. That's what you don't know.
Ride Home with Jeff Kaplan, weekdays 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Andy Farnsworth. KSL's top story this hour. Representative Jennifer Daly-Provo says taxpayers should not underwrite activities for homeschooled children. She introduced a bill to restrict the use of money that homeschoolers receive. It would disallow the money to be used for activities like ski lessons.
I just felt that that was an egregious misallocation of money because we don't have any children who are in the public school system who have access to public school funding to go take ski lessons, which are incredibly expensive.
Provo says if the programs are offered at local public school, then homeschoolers can participate in those. The bill is currently stuck in rules. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. President Trump says he plans to put tariffs on all imports of steel and aluminum from any country. ABC's senior White House correspondent Selena Wang has more.
Trump said this would be applying to all countries, but didn't make clear when the tariffs would actually go into effect. He also said that this week he plans to announce reciprocal tariffs on any country that has imposed tariffs on the U.S. So it's basically matching the duties that other countries impose on American products.
The president made the announcement during his pre-Super Bowl interview with Fox. The Super Bowl game itself, kind of a dud. If you were a Kansas City fan, it was a big dud. But there will be a lot of people who, numbers say there was probably a lot of people who called in sick this morning. A Harris poll found over 22.5 million people across the country had planned to be sick today and not show up to work. And that's a 40% higher number than last year. Another 13 million planned ahead and took the day off. Your money at this moment, the Dow's up 53 points, 0.1% to 44,356. Coming up, we've still got a few storms in the weather later this week. We'll check weather and traffic together next. KSL News Time at 10:31.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
It's the Advanced Window Products President's Day sale. If the cold is seeping in through your old windows, Advanced Window Products will install state-of-the-art double-pane windows with insulated frames. Your home will take on an exciting new look, and you're going to save on your heating bill. And not for nothing, your air conditioning in summer. And right now at the President's Day sale, you save $2,500 off 10 windows or more. For 38 years, Advanced Windows has been building beautiful custom windows and frames right here in Utah. There's no middleman, so you save. So keep out the cold, cut down your energy bills, and save $2,500 with one call to Advanced Window Products. 801-850-9100. An expert comes out for a no-pressure consultation. They'll tell you about the payment plans, including no payments for 24 months. The Advanced Window Products President's Day sale. Get $2,500 off. Call 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. Or just go to advancedwindows.com.
Now it's time to check traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's limited time balance transfer bonus. Let's check in with Heather Kelly.
Well, all the crashes that we did have on I-15 in Utah County are gone, both northbound and southbound, and there's no delays if you're trying to get through Utah, Salt Lake, Davis, and Weber counties, either direction. We do have a vehicle that was on fire. This is eastbound I-80 just after you pass the Kimball Junction exit. We still have the right lane and shoulder blocked with emergency crews, but the vehicle's no longer on fire, and there's no delays in that area. Whipple Service Champions, your cooling, heating, plumbing, drains, and electrical specialists. Whipple that away. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, a high of today of 39. Then on Tuesday, there's a small chance for some flurries. A bigger storm arrives on Thursday and could last through Saturday. Right now, it's 30 degrees in Salt Lake City, 27 degrees in Ogden, 29 degrees in Provo. It is sunny everywhere. I'm Andy Farnsworth from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
We're turning our eye right now to Utah's Capitol Hill to talk about a new plan to expand funding for what's called Catalyst Centers in Utah.
Eye on the Hill 2025. Special coverage with Dave and Dujanovic.
The Catalyst Center is a revelation. Now, parents, you may not even know about this. You may not know that your high school even offers or has a Catalyst Center. This was brand new information to me just a couple of years ago. I didn't realize that this is something that is connected to the schools. Now, what it is in Davis County, for example, is it's an off-campus class. And they have many classes at the Catalyst Center. It's this big, beautiful, modern building, and it has a number of different courses ranging from the culinary arts to construction management, video producing, storytelling. All of these courses are offered at this off-site Catalyst Center where kids can leave campus and go to these classes.
Do you know if they've renamed this? Because my kids attended this in the Canyons district, and one of them got like an EMT kind of certification or the pre-courses to become. So have they changed the name of it? That was my question when you were talking about it. I was like, this does sound familiar to me. It's been a while since my kids have been out of high school. But this, so it sounds like something that they maybe have had in place.
Sometimes schools will team up with a technical college where they'll offer some of these. Perhaps it's a CNA course. But I don't know how long Catalyst has been around.
Oh, it sounds awesome.
But it has grown, and it sounds like there are some legislators on the Hill that want to increase the access and the programs that are available at these Catalyst Centers. Holly Richardson joins us right now from Utah Policy, and this is a story that I found this morning on Utah Policy, Holly, and it sounds like it's something that Speaker of the House, Mike Schultz, wants to push through.
Yeah, he really does. And thanks for having me. So Mike Schultz actually talked about the Davis Catalyst Center in his opening remarks when the legislature opened a couple of weeks ago. Well, almost 4 weeks ago now. But he wants to appropriate $65 million in grants to expand this program. And Debbie, to your question, yeah, we still have concurrent enrollment with tech, also with tech schools, but with universities too. So students can enroll and they can already go and do some of these dental hygienist or CNA, those types of things. As I look at it, what I am seeing is that this Catalyst Center in Davis County, for example, offers a lot more options. And the goal behind Speaker Schultz's push for this is to have people who are aligned with workforce needs, and so they're ready to leave high school with skills that they can go straight into a job.
Holly, we're actually going to talk to one of these students in the next segment that has taken a construction management course at the Catalyst Center, and we'll hear from him firsthand of what he learned, what he liked, maybe some of the challenges of it. But this is millions of dollars, almost $70 million. Is this to expand the program statewide?
So what it would do is actually create a whole new entity, and they would have a director over the Catalyst Center program. But then any school district or charter school or the Utah School for the Deaf and the Blind, they could apply for grants to either start one of these programs or expand one of these programs. They want to use data. They want to show how it fits into the workforce. But it would create actually a whole new program, and that money would go to whatever school district applied for it and said, this is how we need to use it.
And it could be it's statewide, correct, Holly?
It is statewide.
Okay.
Yeah, it is statewide. And there actually is a specific thing in the proposed bill that really wants to look at what rural communities can do, right? Because it's harder sometimes to do these expanded programs in rural. So that's one of the things that they're going to look at as well, is how do you make it accessible all around the state.
Holly, this is kind of nuanced, so I may be unfair, but you know what? I'm just going to throw it out there. Is there any sense of how traditional schools are feeling about this? Because many of these Catalyst centers are not necessarily accessible from the school. So the Davis Catalyst Center, for example, is, I want to say, 2 or 3 miles away from Davis High School. But it is also a hub. It's not just for Davis High School. We had kids from Northridge coming. They would come. Is there any kind of a pushback from the schools?
Yeah, I don't think so. The UEA actually had a response to the Davis Catalyst Center being mentioned. It's a public school, so it's publicly funded. I think one of the things that you have with these types of programs is that you've got to be responsible for your student getting there. So whether they're 16 years old and have a driver's license, or you take them as a parent, like the student you're going to talk to soon, I actually had one of my sons go through a construction management program during his senior year, and I drove him until he could drive himself. But it was a really great opportunity, and they started with a flat piece of land and ended with a fully landscaped built home ready to sell.
Cool.
So that was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just looking it up because I was trying to jog my memory from when my our youngest daughter, went through it, and it was called CTE, is what she went
Right.
through. I don't know if it's one and the same or not, but it was very helpful. I mean, she was able to get training as an EMT. It's a field that she's in now, at least temporarily, till she heads off to medical school here fairly soon. But she's been doing that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
It's very similar. It's just an expansion. So CTE is just what is it? Technical education.
Yeah,
It's
career
expanding
technical
on.
education.
Yeah, that's right. And so all kids will take CTE classes while they're in high school. This is one that really says we're going to focus more on a marketable skill when you get done with this.
One thing that I found that was interesting in the Catalyst Center, and again, they had such an incredible mix of classes that you could take, from culinary arts, there was drones, game development, graphic design, medical assisting, just this huge mix.
Yeah.
But what they would do is wouldn't grab necessarily traditional teachers. They would bring professionals from the field that maybe didn't have a 4-year degree in classes, but they were professionals, a lot like adjunct faculty. And that's a unique thing to this.
Yeah, that's right. And that's actually included in Speaker Schultz's bill as well, saying that professionals in the field can come, that they're exempt from having a teacher's license in the state of Utah. They still have to pass a criminal background check, and they have to do any required training if the school district says you specifically have to do this before you teach in our or in our system. But it expressly exempts professionals from having a teaching license to be able to go teach in these centers.
Oh, that's very interesting. So it really would encourage professionals to come and bring their institutional knowledge. That's a great detail. Holly Richardson, thank you so much for joining us, editor of Utah Policy. I caught that story this morning. When you send out your email every morning, I always look through it, and this was the one that really caught my attention.
This is great. Sounds like it's going to open up some doors for a lot of kids. Maybe they don't want to go on to get a traditional 4-year degree or beyond in college, one of our colleges or universities, and this opens up some doors for them to venture into career fields that are interesting to them. And you said that you've lined up a student to call us who's actually involved in one of these Catalyst programs. Yeah,
as a senior in high school right now at Davis High School, and has been part of the Catalyst Center, was with the construction management, and it was so interesting to listen to Holly talk about her experience and her son that did the same thing with construction management. And I want to break it down, some of the best experiences and maybe some of the challenges of having to go off campus and have maybe more of this apprenticeship type experience in high school. So when we come back, we'll talk to one of the kids that actually attends the Catalyst Center. Next.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I've got a deal for you on something that a lot of you probably still need to do this winter.
Similar to the way auto manufacturers recommend changing your oil, furnace manufacturers recommend having your system tuned up at least once a year. Normally, we charge $124 to tune up your furnace, but not today. If you call today, Monday, February 10th, and mention you heard this ad, we'll give you $105 off and tune up your furnace for only, wait for it, $19. You won't hear this ad tomorrow, so call any hour right now to schedule. 801-443-7400. A furnace tune-up is the best way to extend the life of your furnace and avoid unexpected breakdowns. 801-443-7400. If it's more convenient, go to anyhourservices.com and look for the red button that says Book Online. Schedule your $19 tune-up there. That's a $124 value for only $19, if you get a hold of us today. Call Any Hour Services right now at 801-443-7400. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
This week's movie show is brought to you by Sound Sleep Medical. Get a free sleep screening and a free sleep consultation by tuning in on Friday morning. Sound Sleep Medical with 7 locations in Utah.
Camping season is right around the corner, and Motorsportsland is throwing a huge RV party in the KZ RV Megatent at our Mill Creek store. Come and check out hundreds of RVs, accessories, and exciting activities including kids' movie nights, RV seminars, on-site radio events, yard games, food trucks, a live performance with Ryan Shoup and the Rubber Band, and did we mention over $30,000 in prizes? Event sponsors include KZRV, Owned by Cummins, Suburban RV Appliances, Lion Energy, Lippert, Utah Big Game Outfitters, Equalizer, and many more. Free admission, free seminars, and free activities. Buy your RV with us this week and we'll beat any local dealer price or give you $100 cash. Check out motorsportsland.com for event schedule and guarantee details. Adventure awaits at Motorsportsland's Megatent RV event.
Let Motorsportsland help you get away.
4001 South State.
Dave and Dujanovic. Dave and Dujanovic.
Eye on the Hill 2025. Special coverage with Dave and Dujanovic.
We're tracking some proposed legislation on Capitol Hill to enhance or fund what's called Catalyst Centers in Utah. Dave's been breaking down what these are and how it could lead to some new career opportunities for our students.
The Catalyst Center was an incredible experience for my son. So this was brand new information to us. I had no idea that the Catalyst Center existed until my son's senior year in high school. And then we heard about it, that there was a media literacy video production course that was right up his alley. That's exactly what he wants to do. And we saw the Catalyst Center was offering one of these classes. Now, it wasn't just sign up. There had to be prerequisites. You had to fill out an application, get accepted into the program, a little bit college-y in that way. And when my son got accepted, he had to travel. It was 2 or 3 miles from Davis High School over to the Catalyst Center. And when he walked into this video production suite, it was state-of-the-art. It was fantastic. Nice. They had this 12-foot screen, LCD screen, that is nicer than anything we have in the business here at Channel 5. It was beautiful. It was the access to video recording equipment, cameras, lenses, drones. They had all of this stuff. Top of the line. It was fantastic. And he got to play and use these things and produce for local businesses. Local businesses would come to the Catalyst Center and say, hey, could you help me produce this video?
So it's not like just practice, pretend. It sounds like it's legitimate. Like they're actually producing videos. And that's just one aspect of what a Catalyst Center can do. It has opportunities for lots of different paths for students to take. It's intriguing. And it could be just right up somebody's alley, especially if a child doesn't want to go on to get a traditional 4-year degree.
Another thing that is interesting about the Catalyst Center is it is not taught by your traditional teacher who went through elementary education or got a certification that way. This is taught by professionals. So people that have been in the business that are teaching these classes. So it's unique in that way as well. And there are so many different kind of classes that are offered, whether it is like I said, video production. There's culinary arts. There's cybersecurity, drones. There are so many different classes. Well, I thought I'd bring on one of my son's friends, Cooper Patain, who has actually taken the construction management course at the Catalyst Center, and I wanted to pick his brain and see what his experience was like. So joining us right now is Cooper. Thanks for joining us. I know this is like right in the middle of the school day, so I appreciate you taking the time, Cooper, for joining us. But walk us through a little bit what construction management was like for the Catalyst Center.
Yeah, so construction management, it's a really good class because, you know, at school it's really like textbook, just kind of boring. But at the Catalyst Center, it's really hands-on, so you kind of get a full experience. And you go through, especially in construction management, we're building small homes, so we'll go through things like the framing, electrical, plumbing, roofing. You know, like we're getting the entire experience, but in kind of like a scaled down way. So it's really good in that way because you kind of just get to experience the whole thing. It's really hands-on, and so you're actually like learning a lot instead of studying. So that's just one thing that I liked about it.
Cooper, do you want to go into the construction industry after graduation?
So I work construction with my dad. Right now we're rebuilding our house. And so that's just kind of been something on my mind. And I didn't really have a lot of classes that I needed to take in high school, so I kind of wanted to look for more options. So my mom told me about the Catalyst Center, and I thought construction would be a nice thing to kind of like a good skill to have. And maybe I'm considering it, but yeah.
You'll always have that skill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's great.
It's definitely an option for sure.
So how did the instruction work? Did they have a foreman that would walk you through and teach you how to do these things?
So usually we have just one teacher, and like you said, he is a construction manager. He does work in the profession, but our class is around like 10 to 12 people. He'll walk us through, just kind of tell us what we need to do for that day, and just kind of just lead us through. But most of the time it's just us working. So it's like we're kind of figuring it out by ourselves, but he's kind of there as like a guide rather than just teaching us, if that makes any sense.
No, that's it is very interesting. I appreciate you sharing the story, Cooper. We'll let you enjoy the rest of your school day, but thanks for joining us. And this is very common, right? When you have some hands-on experience, you know, some of this apprenticeship where you actually are working with clients, oftentimes in some of these classes where local businesses will come and say, hey, can you help, for example, with some of the culinary arts? Can you help me cater a luncheon? Then they can do that as well. This gives kids, I think, this really hands-on, practical experience that I think is crucial, where they're working, you know, and not just theoretically learning these things.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that aspect of it. Probably more than anything we've talked about is that they're actually doing work that's being requested of them in the community. I remember when I talked about my daughter going through CTE and the EMT training, I was enrolled in some sort of a program, DECA or something like that in high school, where I got a job as a bank teller. Like I really? I was, yeah, I was continuing office education, COE. I think that's what it was called. And they probably still have those to some degree. And I went and I worked as a bank teller at a bank in Phoenix. Legitimately a bank teller. I was on the teller line for 9 months of that year. So, and that was some of the best experience that I had working in the real world.
It's a creative way of getting kids involved. And as you heard him say, they would go out on site. They had a foreman, they had a manager that would kind of walk them through, but it was a group of 10 or 12 kids.
That's great. It's small class too. I noticed that. Yeah, it makes sense for what they're learning, and there's not 35 kids trying to learn the same skill. It seems like a very manageable group.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember some of the things my son was telling me about the Catalyst Center, but I think they have a cafeteria there at the Catalyst Center, and then it's the culinary arts kids that prepare the food and make the desserts that you can purchase while you're there. So it's really, interactive, and we have funded this in the past. This is public resources, public schools that have been used, and now Speaker Mike Schultz has a House bill where he wants to create more resources, about $64 million in grants that would be available to these Catalyst Center.
Yeah, I really like this out-of-the-box way of doing things in the future. I think, just giving kids more opportunities to, maybe they don't want to go to college. They don't want a college degree or a master's degree. They're not going to go on and get their doctorate. That's totally understandable. There's a lot of different career fields out there that pay really good money. And it opens up doors for them that they may struggle to open by themselves when we do this as a community. So it'd be fun to see what becomes of that. Straight ahead, we know what's becoming of our insurance, our car insurance. It's going up and up and up. I talked about how mine's doubled in the last couple of years. In the 11 o'clock hour, we're going to take live phone calls based on a new survey that says insurance rates in Utah are teetering on an average of $177 a month. And that's not even the worst of it. It's higher in other areas of the nation. But get ready to call us because I want to hear what your monthly insurance premiums are in the 11 o'clock hour.
The newest part of your morning and still so familiar.
When you wake up and listen to a radio show, it's like you're a part of a family. You're listening in on people you know, and it's magnificent that Andy Farnsworth is sitting in the chair because he's someone we know.
Utah's Morning News. Andy Farnsworth joins Amanda Dixon to bring you important news in the car. 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
You've heard, you've seen, Master Electrical Service. They've been around since 1954. And now they've taken this great company with such a great reputation, and they've joined forces to create Mountain Home Services.
Which the list now of things that they can do to your home, it's incredible. Your electrical needs are met. And maybe you need new recessed lighting because you've been putting off getting that installed, or you need your outlets upgraded. You need an EV charger. But then you add to this mix, now that they've joined forces with Mountain Home Services, your HVAC, your heating and air, your plumbing, and fireplaces.
Yeah, I love fireplaces, especially when it's chilly right now. A fireplace feels so great. And if you want to put one in your house, make sure you reach out to Mountain Home Services because they have this wealth of expertise and experience. They can come in and walk you through the entire process. Make sure you ask them about the upfront pricing guarantee because that is one of my favorite things that they offer. When they come out, they give you a bid. They will honor that bid.
Yep, no hidden fees, a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Now, we're going to give you a couple of ways that you can get a hold of them.
Online at mountainhomeservices.com.
Or you can give them a phone call. They'd love to hear from you. 801-543-2222. Let me give you that number one more time. 801-543-2222.
At JCW's, we think tipping might be getting a little out of hand. Like when you're asked to tip at the register before you've even been served. Or when you're at the yogurt shop and find yourself serving yourself. And don't even get us started on frosted tips making a comeback. That's why at JCW's, when you pay for a 3rd-pound ranch bacon cheeseburger, that's what you pay. And no one at the register is going to stare longingly at you while you awkwardly maneuver through the tip screen for food you don't even have yet. Honestly, we're just happy to see you at any of our 5 locations in Provo, South Jordan, Lehigh, Harriman, and American Fork. So come on in and enjoy some quality time and great food with family and friends. And we promise, we won't be pushing you for a tip.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's, and we just want to say thank you, and especially to our loyal customers. We want you to know that at JCW's, your business is all the tip we need. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
Transform your home into a haven this Valentine's Day with Zero-Res carpet and air duct cleaning. Nothing says I care like a pristine living space. Did you know your carpets can trap up to 40 pounds of dust and debris each year? It's time to refresh your home. Zero Res uses a patented cleaning process without harsh chemicals, ensuring your carpets stay cleaner longer and are safe for both kids and pets. Plus, with faster dry times, your carpets will be ready in hours, not days. Right now, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $109. And if you mention KSL News Radio, you'll get a hallway clean for free. Looking to go beyond carpets? Zero Res offers upholstery, tile, and even air duct cleaning. And with their Gotta Love It guarantee, if you're not satisfied, they'll re-clean the area for free within 30 days. Let Zero Res help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 866-ZERO-RES or online at zerores.com to schedule your appointment today.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Chris Scott, KSL's top story this hour. Weekend snow totals exceeded forecasts and led to over 20 avalanches. Forecasters are saying the danger may continue for several days.
Forecasters with the Utah Avalanche Center say the avalanche danger in many areas through Utah remains considerable. There were about 21 reported avalanches from Saturday and Sunday. Forecaster Drew Hardsty says these conditions could linger.
The avalanche conditions in the central Wasatch are very tricky and dangerous right now. We're calling it considerable danger. Human-triggered avalanches are likely, recommending people be very cautious if they're heading into avalanche terrain over the next several days.
On Saturday, one of these avalanches killed an experienced skier in Big Cottonwood Canyon. There were several other slides, including a close call where one skier was buried but then dug out. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Hamas says it will delay the release of 3 hostages, which was slated to happen next weekend. More from ABC's Britt Clement in Israel.
It says it's a response to Israel breaching the Gaza ceasefire agreement, which began last month. Now, these violations include delaying the return of displaced people to northern Gaza. They say targeting them with shelling and gunfire in various areas of Gaza and failing to allow the entry of humanitarian aid in all its agreed upon forms.
There are still 6 Americans being held hostage in Gaza. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 109 points, S&P up 39. And coming up, mostly sunny skies today. KSL weather's next. KSL News Time, 11:03.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Are you in search of a fulfilling career where you can work on a team that provides you room to grow, learn, and thrive every day? Focus Engineering and Surveying is looking for individuals to join their team who take pride in the customer service they provide and have a passion for their clients to be successful. No experience in engineering, CAD design, or surveying? No problem. Focus will train those who fit their team culture for rewarding careers in surveying and CAD design. If you can align with the core ideology and the Focus team culture, if you're internally driven, team-oriented, client-focused, and love personal development and growth, Focus Engineering and Surveying is the place for you. Enjoy a positive work environment and paid internship opportunities, plus fantastic benefits like great health care with 80% employer-paid premium and HSA matched up to $200 per month, 401k, vacation vacation, even annual performance bonuses. Start your journey towards your new and fulfilling career. Apply now at FocusUtah.com. That's FocusUtah.com.
Attention home buyers, want to save hundreds on your mortgage payment or buy a bigger, nicer home? Visit SaveRight.com. This is Rod with the SaveRight team at Realty Path. SaveRight, our name says it all. SaveRight real estate clients often save $300 to $600 a month on their mortgage. Life of loan savings can be over $300,000. SaveRight clients qualify for and buy bigger, nicer homes. Interest rates are around 7%. SaveRight clients can get fixed rates in the 5s. Our affiliate lender makes it all possible. You can even start with a rate in the 2s. If you're buying or selling a home in Utah, save a ton of money. Hire the SaveRight team of realtors. Visit SaveRight.com for more information.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I've got a deal for you on something that a lot of you probably still need to do this winter. Similar to the way auto manufacturers recommend changing your oil, furnace manufacturers recommend having your system tuned up at least once a year. Normally, we charge $124 to tune up your furnace, but not today. If you call today, Monday, February 10th, and mention you heard this ad, we'll give you $105 off and tune up your furnace for only, wait for it, $19. You won't hear this ad tomorrow, so call Any Hour right now to schedule. 801-443-7400. A furnace tune-up is the best way to extend the life of your furnace and avoid unexpected breakdowns. 801-443-7400. If it's more convenient, go to anyhourservices.com and look for the red button that says Book Online. Schedule your $19 tune-up there. That's a $124 value for only $19, if you get a hold of us today. Call Any Hour Services right now at 801-443-7400. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Mountain America's limited time balance transfer bonus. Here's Heather Kelly.
Well, for the first time all morning long, we are accident-free on all the roadways and also delay-free, so there's no problems on I-15, either northbound or southbound getting into Salt Lake or the opposite direction. You also have a good drive if you're on the east and west side belt routes, the 201 freeway, I-80 out of Tooele County, as well as I-80 through Parley's Canyon. Lagoon is hiring full-time year-round ride maintenance technicians and electricians with journeyman or apprentice-level experience. Apply online at lagoonpark.com/jobs. Must be 18 years of age or older to apply. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
A high of 39 today with mostly sunny skies. Clouds move in tomorrow morning, bringing a few flurries, but no real storm. Things cool down tomorrow night with a low of 16. Right now it is 33 and fair. I'm Claire Scott from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com, we're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio. Dave and Dujanovic, special coverage of the top national story.
Talking about a new survey that was released regarding car insurance premiums. In my home, they've gotten so incredibly high, I just cringe every time I see the bill come in at $153 a month just for me. It's double what it was just a couple of years ago. But this new survey shows, Dave, that it is going up all over the nation. And there are states that are spending a lot more, where customers are spending a lot more than Utah. And already in Utah, it's $2,100 a year.
And I wonder what's going on, because we're not losing it in wildfires. We're not losing it in hurricanes. You know, we're not having to replace cars all over the place because of a singular event. But I can't help but think that because we get a lot of snow, and in the winter we have a lot of slide-offs, you know, maybe that's what's driving these insurance costs. Because even though it's obviously very common, we deal with snowy roads all the time, and we do have a lot of crashes, it still surprised me that we're some of the worst rates in the nation.
Now, I will probably jinx myself by saying this, but I haven't been in a slide-off.
Yeah,
I haven't spun out and hit another car during, a horrible commute in slush and blizzard and lake effect. So I don't know why mine have doubled. They just have. Just one day I woke up and it was like creeping up creeping up. Now it's double. I used to pay $75 a month, almost on the dime. And my last payment that went out the door was $153. I do bundle too to try to get the discount, but obviously it's not a lot. You know, if I'm paying even more, I'm not getting much of a discount.
So the 150 is the bargain?
Yeah. In Florida, it's $4,100 a year for car insurance. So before you decide to up and retire to Florida because you think they have better weather, well, exception of the hurricanes, maybe you'd live offshore quite a ways. You're not subject, but you never know. I mean, these hurricanes it's $4,100. So I wonder if that is a hurricane penalty in Florida. I don't know. Let's get with Bankrate. Live call right now from Shannon. I'm sorry, I've lost your name. Shannon Martin.
Yep.
Oh, hi, Shannon. You with us?
We got her somewhere, I think. Yeah, she's an insurance analyst.
Oh, she's calling in about 5 more minutes. Sorry about that. Good. At least she won't hear me mess up her last name. Yeah.
That's no hard feelings. Listen, when we're looking at insurance, I can't help but think, okay, yeah, this stings. And having it double over the last several years has certainly stung the pocketbook. They're dealing with inflation and all of these other things as well. But this is just another reason for me to look at or reconsider my relationship with cars. I've always had a car. I drive cars. I love cars. They're great. They're convenient. But they are quickly pricing me out of the car business. When you start taking into all of the accounts, all the things that a car costs you, let's not forget, it's not only the initial upfront costs, or maybe it's a lease, it's the monthly payment. The average new car is $50,000. The average used car is about $24,000. So let's just set aside the initial cost. Now we're talking about maintenance, oil, tires, brakes. You just mentioned insurance, the parking. You know, you have to pay for parking if you're driving somewhere. That monthly car wash, or maybe it's a weekly car wash. And then you've got the depreciation of the car. This was a number that surprised me. In just the first 5 years, you're going to lose 60% of the value of that vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So you buy a car for $50,000, immediately you can drop that down to $22,000 in just 5 years.
So is your point, don't drive a car?
So
don't own a car?
I think we've got to do some reality checks. Because do you realize, and the Bureau of Transportation has broken this down, if you're driving a car, it's basically costing you $1,000 per month.
Yeah. So I can't be a no-car family. So it might work for you and your wife, but it won't work for me to not have a car. Like, I'm not going to be 57 years old and carless living in South Jordan. And even though Trax is pretty close to my home, so public transportation, it's still a mile away. And we get some pretty dicey snowstorms with lake effect out that way. So that doesn't really work for me. In the meantime, I'm just swallowing this $153 a month insurance bill, which I wasn't swallowing before. $75 a month. Shannon Martin, she's an insurance analyst with Bankrate. Thanks for joining the show, Shannon.
Thanks for having me.
Do you have any idea, does Bankrate have any idea what's driving our insurance costs to go up for cars?
You know, there are a lot of things causing these rate increases. A big part of it has to do with just the cost to repair the vehicles, repair costs, and the technician shortage that happened over the past few years is really driving up these costs.
Shannon, when we're looking at these costs, and I guess it surprised me a little bit when I saw on your website that we rank 8th. We're like 8th worst in the nation. But I couldn't really figure out why. We don't get the wildfires. We don't get the hurricanes. We don't have the tornadoes or the hailstorms here in Utah. Is there any indication why we're feeling it so much here in Utah?
Well, Utah does have a true cost rank of 8, but it's actually the other way. So it's on the lower end of car insurance costs right now.
Oh, we're 8th best?
Utah, 8th best, yes.
Oh, wow. I totally read that wrong.
That's okay. So what our True Cost Report did is we looked at the average cost of car insurance and median household income in every state and 25 metro areas. So nationally, full coverage insurance is around $2,600 a year, but drivers in Utah pay an average of $2,100 a year. So they're spending about 2.28% of their household income towards car insurance costs.
And we know it's a lot more expensive in places like Louisiana, where it's $3,900 annually, a little more than that, almost $4,000 annually. Florida, Bank Rates survey puts it about almost $4,200 a year. Does Bankrate offer us any life hacks to cut the cost, Shannon?
Absolutely. So first off, if you're in the process of purchasing a vehicle, you're in the best spot. You want to take a look at various types, get quotes from different sorts of vehicles, find the car that fits in your insurance budget first, then head down to the dealership. If you're like most of us and you already own a car, you can always shop between carriers, and you can take a look at your policy, see if you're paying for anything extra. Do you need towing and lockout if you already have it through AAA or maybe a credit reward program or something like that?
One of the things we've heard from our listeners is they say, oh, you just got to shop it. You got to shop it from insurance carrier to insurance carrier. Is that the best way, is to get some of the competition involved, or is there a downside? Because I think I remember them pulling my credit check when I shopped around.
That's a really good point. There's not a downside between comparing insurance rates other than it can take up some of your time. They do, in Utah, credit is a rating factor, but they do what's called a soft pull. So it will never impact your credit score when they compare, when you're shopping around for car insurance. But to be honest, drivers are saving as much money now as they used to when they would shop around, and it's not the type of product where you can negotiate. So always make sure that you're comparing apples to apples. And if you've earned a renewal discount with your current carrier, make sure that the new business discount you might get from your new carrier was going to save you the same amount of money.
Shannon, thank you so much for the call and bringing us up to speed on what Bankrate found when it launched this survey about insurance premiums for cars. She's an insurance analyst with Bankrate. We're going to take live calls, 801-575-TALK. Are you like me? Has your monthly premium doubled? And how much are you paying per month? I wonder if we should just start comparing how much we're paying per month. And I know it might not be apples to apples because you're not going to call in with your 30-page insurance policy printout to tell me like what you're getting for that. But I am curious. I mean, I'm almost 58 years old. I'm paying $153 a month. Haven't had an accident in quite a while. I don't ever remember. Do I ever have an accident? Haven't had a speeding ticket in a long time. I do know that for a fact. Long time, like decades. I didn't even think the speeding ticket I got at the time was fair, but I didn't want to do a side of the road, hold court with the cop. Yeah. So I just, of course, accepted it. And then I went to traffic school. So what are you paying per month? Do you know off the top of your head what your monthly premiums are, Dave?
I don't. My wife takes care of the bills in our family. I know it is hundreds of dollars because it's not just her, it's me. We had 3 kids on the insurance plan at once, and we were spending just several $100s because, again, when you're insuring 16, 17, 18-year-olds,
that's a lot.
They don't get great rates, right? Because they're not great drivers. So we were spending huge amounts of money. Now that they've graduated and moved away, they're picking that up. So I really have disengaged from it because what's the alternative? You have no alternative. You have to pay it every month.
Price shopping.
Yeah.
If you're checking on it and you're doing an audit, you can certainly, like Shannon just gave you the recommendation of price shopping, even if you own the car. I thought she also brought up a really good point, is before you run out and purchase a car, see what the insurance quote would be on that. Because what you don't want to do is get, you're going to if you have a car payment and then additionally you find out your insurance is going to cost substantially more because of the type of car you bought. You want to know that going in. I thought that's a great piece of advice.
I hadn't realized that's a nice little tip, a nice little hack, because each vehicle may have a different rate, and that's something that you want to know about. One of our texters said, I've got 4 vehicles, 3 with full coverage, 1 with just liability. It's $650+
a month. 801-575-TALK. I want to share how much we're spending each month for our car insurance premiums. 801-575-TALK. I have a newer vehicle. It's a RAV4. I did buy it new, and my insurance is $153 a month. I was paying for another vehicle a few years ago. It was $75 a month. I was just shocked, but it was going up. Even with that other vehicle, it was going up each month. It was at some point, I think it was just right under $100. It is going up, and I just don't have a good idea of what other people are paying for their car insurance. We're going to take live calls, 801-575-TALK. In the meantime, another text. My wife and I pay around $315 a month for their 2 cars. Oh, and then he says, my wife's driving record is pretty bad.
Oh, man.
I dare you to call the show and tell us that live.
Oh, that is too funny. Yet, well, and this is what is frustrating and difficult, and oftentimes why, if you do get into a little fender bender, you may not even involve insurance because you don't want your insurance rates to be jacked up. So we have insurance, but anytime we use it, then we know we're going to get these increased insurance rates, which is frustrating, and we're just constantly trying to battle, like, how much is this going to cost me? Now, this is just one of the many costs that are involved with cars. Not only the initial upfront costs, the maintenance, the gasoline, the new tires, the repairs that happen. It is outrageously expensive. In fact, it costs about $1,000 per month, all in. That's what the Bureau of Transportation has estimated. They say another way you can break it down is count how many miles you drive in a year, and then times it by 81 cents. Yeah. And that'll give you, if you're a very, very low usage driver, so say maybe you only put on 10,000 miles a year, then it's not going to be quite as bad for you.
I would love to lean into that concept of not owning a car that you're continuing to pitch. I just don't know how that would look as a no-car family, single with no car. I think I would really, my personal life would suffer a lot. Like
for sure.
Yeah. Like
yeah. You wouldn't even know how to process it,
no,
right?
I wouldn't be able to get out of the house on a whim if I wanted to. Maybe, sometimes these winters too get a little bit long, and when it's a sunny day, I just want to go on a drive. I don't want to do that in the back of an Uber. Or walk over to tracks. I want to take some phone calls, 801-575-TALK. Rebecca, you live in Salt Lake City. What's your monthly car insurance premium?
$128. And a credit union has my loan.
Oh.
And I've never had a wreck. And I had a ticket years ago. I'm almost 70.
You're like me, long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, so long. I went to traffic school. It was on Foothill. Everybody gets one on Foothill.
Well, $128 a month. You're 70 years old. So I'm looking at my premium. Now, we'd have to compare apples to apples. I don't know what your deductible is and all that other good stuff. Like if you have, maybe I have towing, I have to go and check, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I do. I have
you
that.
do? Okay.
Roadside.
Well,
Roadside.
you have
Yep.
the bells and whistles. So you're saving, you're $25 a month over what I'm paying. You're saving, it adds up, couple $100 a year.
Now, you said something, you're like, I'm not sure what my life would look like without a vehicle, and I'm with you. Like, that would be such a detour of just how I live my life. But what is interesting to me is how many people right now in America are choosing to be non-drivers. Mm-hmm. About 10% of America are non-drivers, and it's not just grandma and grandpa at 85 years old who've given up their driver's license and given up their driving. It's not just that. The majority of non-drivers right now in Utah or in America are 19 to 24-year-olds. They've just never gotten their driver's license, and they're adapting and changing and using public transit and Ubers. And for whatever reason, that is how they've decided to live their life. So very, very difficult for you and I who have 30, 40 years of driving, and we can't imagine it otherwise. But there's a huge chunk of people right now, millions of people that have decided, I'm going to live life without driving.
Hi, John.
Hi. Hi.
Want to get your call in. So you found a hack to reduce your premiums. What is it?
Well, I pay annual for 2 cars, and it's around $1,400, and it reduced it quite a bit.
Okay.
And then other comments, if I may have a comment, used to be that, I don't know what's going on with the insurance racket anymore, but it used to be that if you were a good driver, your rate got reduced annually. But now, regardless of what, it just keeps going up every year.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what's going on with, with your insurance, with your driving record, but they just keep increasing it.
Well, let's get Blake on the line from Lehigh, because our producer says, Blake, you just got off the phone with your insurance agent a few minutes ago. What'd you learn?
So I've been paying with Progressive. I've got a 2011 RAV4, so 57 years old, similar to your situation. I've been paying $160 a month for a 2011 car.
Wow.
Right? So I just started calling around today to try and get some different rates. I found one that says, well, if you bundle everything together, we can get you down to $97 a month.
Oh. Well,
but everything has gone up.
Yeah.
The weird thing to me with it, I've got a 21-year-old daughter who is paying $110 a month for a Subaru Outback that was like a 2016 or 17.
You're like, that makes no sense. I'm driving an older car. I have more experience. And then I've got a teen driver, and it's cheaper than what I'm paying. Yeah, that would bother me too, Blake. And I appreciate you calling us. And obviously, this spurred some interest in him. He just called his insurance agent. Like, we're going to talk about this. We're going to do an audit on insurance rates right now.
Well, I think insurance agents are probably going to get a lot of calls this afternoon and be like, what is going on?
Where are these coming from?
You're welcome from
Dave and
KSL
Debbie
News
said-
Radio.
The newest part of your morning, and still so familiar.
When you wake up and listen to a radio show, it's like you're a part of a family. You're listening in on people you know, and it's magnificent that Andy Farnsworth is sitting in the chair because he's someone we know.
Utah's Morning News. Andy Farnsworth joins Amanda Dixon to bring you important news in the car. 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
I love meeting with a family that runs Renaissance Ranch because I think it really speaks to the way and their philosophy and the importance of Renaissance Ranch. Because if you have a family member that is struggling with addiction, it doesn't matter whether they're currently in recovery or they need help, Renaissance Ranch offers free family support services.
Yeah, and they've really created an environment, especially I love those online free classes that we're going to tell our listeners about in just a second, Dave. But they want to create healing and hope for the entire family. Because when family members are involved in a positive way and learning positive coping skills and are helpful, it really does make a difference in recovery.
You can go to their website right now, go to renaissanceranch.com, and you will see this list of free online classes that are available, and it's basically every single day of the week. And you can see right now, it's Monday, there's a couples addiction recovery group that is available at 8:30. There's a Working the Steps group at noon, and you can join these Zoom calls and just log in, and it's free.
Yeah, and imagine so convenient too, because you can do it from your living room, your kitchen, maybe it's from your car because you pull over to the side of into a parking lot. But you can join these groups, and they will just give you so much hope and tips. And like you've said, it's all for free.
Again, make sure you just check them out online. Just go to renaissanceranch.com.
Camping season is right around the corner, and Motorsportsland is throwing a huge RV party in the KZ RV Megatent at our Mill Creek store. Come and check out hundreds of RVs, accessories, and exciting activities including kids' movie nights, RV seminars, on-site radio events, yard games, food trucks, a live performance with Ryan Shoup and the Rubber Band, and did we mention over $30,000 in prizes? Event sponsors include KZ RV, Owned by Cummins, Suburban RV Appliances, Lion Energy, Lippert, Utah Big Game Outfitters, Equalizer, and many more. Free admission, free seminars, and free activities. Buy your RV with us this week and we'll beat any local dealer price or give you $100 cash. Check out motorsportsland.com for event schedule and guarantee details. Adventure awaits at Motorsportsland's Mega Tent RV event.
Let Motorsportsland help you get away.
4001 South State.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and I'm proud to tell you we don't lay off employees when things get tough. During the pandemic, we didn't let one of our installers go. Instead, we had them clean and remodel our offices so they could still get paid. Remember the 2008 housing crisis? It was a financial nightmare for even the biggest contractors. Still, we didn't lay off a single worker. Nope, we sacrificed profits to keep paying everyone. Look, when the economy's down, most contractors are quick to lay off their workers. It's the easiest way to save money when times get tight. But at RGS Exteriors, we're loyal to our people. You know why? Because it's the right thing to do. People first. People always. That's the RGS way. For gutters, siding, windows, and more, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's rgsexteriors.com, 801-280-3110.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
11:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Becky Bruce. KSL's top local story this hour: a busy weekend for search and rescue crews as there were over 20 avalanches triggered and counting statewide. The Utah Avalanche Center says danger remains considerable both today and tomorrow. Our top national story this hour from ABC News: sharing your 2 cents is about to get more expensive. The president says he told the Treasury Department to stop minting new pennies. He and Elon Musk argue it costs more than 2 cents to make a single penny. Critics argue companies will round up increasing inflation. Your money at this moment: the Dow is up 116 points. S&P 500 and NASDAQ are both in the black. Subaru drivers in Utah may want to be a little more careful on the roads. KSL News Radio's Heather Kelly explains.
The insurance website LendingTree says 50 out of every 1,000 Subaru drivers get into crashes on Utah roads. That's the highest rate of accidents for any brand of car. Nationwide, Tesla drivers have the worst record for accidents. And if you choose to drink and drive, the data finds you are most likely driving a Pontiac.
Nationwide, the top 3 worst cars: Teslas, as she mentioned, Ram trucks, and of course, like here in Utah, the Subarus. Coming up, it's going to stay sunny and warmer today. We've got KSL weather coming up next. KSL News Time, 11:31.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Mountain America's limited time balance transfer bonus. Here's Ricky Meese.
Nice and quiet on the Valley freeways. We're looking good up and down the I-15 corridor with no accidents or delays. Your downtown city streets also problem-free at this time. Advanced Window Products. $2,500 off 10 windows or more. AdvancedWindows.com. Affordable windows guaranteed. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
High of 39 today with mostly sunny skies. Clouds move in tomorrow morning, bringing a few flurries, but no real storm. We'll cool down tomorrow night with a low of about 16. Right now, it's fair 33 degrees. I'm Becky Bruce from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at KSLNewsRadio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
Eye on the Hill 2025. Special coverage with Dave and Dujanovic.
What surprised me about this piece of legislation that you and I are going to talk about, Dave, is that I didn't realize there wasn't a law against this. But KSL.com reporting that while it's a felony for adults to text minors for sexual purposes, there's currently no law against propositioning kids in virtual reality environments. So this is where the kids are wearing these VR goggles, right? And they're playing games virtually. And there's no law against a predator propositioning a child in Utah over a VR headset. That was the biggest shocker to me.
And the VR goggles, they are becoming so incredibly popular right now.
Can you walk me through those? Because it sounds like you have some of those in your home.
Oh, yeah. we got VR. Yeah, we totally do. We play Beat Saber, which is amazing. It's like kind of a drumming game with lightsabers. It's amazing. So the VR goggles, which have grown in so much popularity, this is an important part of it. It's not just for games. They are, quite honestly, they are just computers. So you can have multiple windows open. For example, my son can play a video game and then also have a video chat going on, you know, almost like we would with our computers, where you've got another
like
window
a FaceTime
open.
Call?
Yeah, so he'll play the video game looking north, and then he'll have the video game going on east, so he can just play the game, look over his shoulder, you know, in the VR goggles, have this 360 thing going on. So you can have multiple things going on at once. Why is this important? Because you, the parent, might think your kids are just playing video games, but they could be having a chat with somebody, a group chat, a Snapchat, or a Facebook Messenger chat with somebody, and you just think they're playing games.
See, I thought you could have interactive games with people you've never met.
You can do that too.
Okay,
Yep.
All right. Parents, put on your listening ears. I did not know this, but I don't have kids that are using VR headsets. I have adults. My kids are grown. But this is a thing now where they can do video games. They can do a FaceTime call with somebody. They can do
watch movies.
Okay, but chat with somebody
Chat
they
with
don't
somebody.
know.
Yep.
All kinds of different aspects under these VR headsets. Well, what has come to light now that the lawmaker is sounding the alarm and introducing legislation is that in Utah there's no specific law against a predator reaching out to a child over one of these VR headsets and propositioning them in an inappropriate way. I mean, we can all, think of a million different ways that can happen. So Representative Verona Manga, did I say that right? Dave's giving me the thumbs up. He's giving me how to pronounce Representative Moranga's last name. She's talked to Amanda and Andy about this morning on Utah's Morning News about what's prompted her legislation.
I heard a story about an incident with an 11-year-old girl, and I asked, well, what happened? Why aren't we prosecuting? And I was told that there is no law protecting children from these types of incidences. And so yeah, now we have a bill before us.
So I was reading, I think it was in the Deseret News, about this 11-year-old, and what happened essentially was she had fallen asleep wearing the VR goggles, and mom comes up, sees that, she's laying down with the VR goggles, takes them off her head, and then realizes that there's this communication with another adult. So an 11-year-old is communicating with an adult, and obviously crossing some lines, and that's where she kind of had this aha moment. Okay, well, what are we going to do about this, and how do we crack down on this?
Well, this is one way to do it.
So right now, the way the law is written, virtual reality and AI-driven technology isn't included in anything that has to do with sexual misconduct against the minor. And so this just closes that loophole to protect our children when they're being solicited or participating in any virtual reality space.
And that's a great way to describe it. Obviously, soliciting a minor, that is illegal on just about every level. And then to just specifically dot the I, cross the T, saying AI, virtual reality, all of this, augmented reality, all of this needs to be included. And that's just such common sense.
Have you ever caught yourself in the Not My Kid Club?
Oh, of course.
Never happened to my
yeah.
kid. I think from time to time, I was president of the It'll Never Happen to My Kid
I'm
Club.
your vice chair then
Yeah.
of Not My Kid.
I remember walking into the house one night after I'd gotten done with the live shot at KSL5 television. And I drove home, and I walk in, and I hear chatter from my son's room. I was like, oh, who's in my home? And I ran down the hall, and I flung open the door, and he was talking on a headset. It wasn't a VR headset. It was just
video games.
Video games, yeah. And I said, who are you speaking with on the other end? Give me the headset, And he's like, oh, it's my cousin Nicholas.
Hi, Mrs. Hi, Aunt Debbie.
Hi, Aunt Deb, yeah. So I was really proud of my son for the fact that he was playing. I mean, they're about a couple of years apart, but I was like, oh, okay, it's somebody we know. It's your cousin. That's so cool. But I know that I, from time to time, would be president of the Not My Kid Club, guilty as charged. Florida Atlantic University studied 5,000 teens ages 13 to 17. So if you are a member of the Not My Kid Club, the results of this survey, you will relinquish your membership card. 19% in virtual spaces say they've experienced sexual harassment. You're like, no, okay, well, I can work with, I can talk to my kid about sexual harassment. 21% encountered unwanted or violent or sexual content. Unwanted, violent, or sexual content. 18% say they faced grooming or predatory behavior. Come on. So if you are a card-carrying member of the Never Not My Kid Club, this study of 5,000 kids, teenagers, tells us you got to turn in that membership card, and you got to be having these conversations with your kids. And I feel like a broken record when I've said that. I've said that for 7 years on this show. You've got to be having these conversations. Technology is so far ahead of us, parents. It just is. It will always be ahead of us. We try, but we work. We got to grocery shop. We got to put food on the table. We got to get our kids places. We are so bogged down with other things that are going on. But you have got to put these headsets on yourself and figure out what your kids are up against. And then you've got to listen to a tip that Dave is going to talk to you about how to know what's going on, even if you're not under the headsets.
One of the great things about VR headsets is the casting feature. And this is something I would encourage parents to do, because obviously when your kids have the VR headsets on, you don't see what they're seeing. You don't know what's going on. But what you can do is they're wearing the headset, just have them broadcast it to your television. So every one of these VRs have this as an option where you just cast what they're seeing onto the TV. So if they're playing a game, you will see them playing the game. You will see what they see.
Okay.
If they look to their right and they've got a video chat going on over looking east, right? If they've got a video chat, you will see that there's a video chat. And they've got the headphone or the headsets on. They've got the audio. They don't know that you're around. They don't know that you popped in. They don't hear you creep in. So you can just monitor them and just make sure. Just touch base. Are they really just playing the game? Or are they playing the game and maybe having a chat on the side or surfing or watching a movie or tapping into their Snapchat account?
And that's called the cast feature?
Yeah, it's broadcast. It's called casting. So you can just ask your kids, hey, guys, when you're playing VR, will you just cast it on the television? That's just for your safety, my safety, just to make sure everything's above board, everything's appropriate. Because when they're playing video games on the Xbox, it's just being broadcast on the television anyway. You walk in, you see what they're doing. The VR has a level of privacy that parents just don't know what's going on. They don't see it. So if you cast it, just say, hey, you know what? When you're playing VR, just cast while you're doing this.
Great advice. I love that tip. Thanks, Dave. Straight ahead, how do you spell Utahn? Utahan? Or do you spell it like I do, the right way? Let's have that debate next.
What was the other way?
Utahan. Or do you spell it the right way, like I do? That debate's next.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. For over 100 years, United Way of Salt Lake has served and strengthened the greater Salt Lake community. Through partnerships and programs, United Way is creating lasting social change on some of the toughest challenges we face. Vice President of Donor Engagement, Adrian Smith, joins us with more.
United Way of Salt Lake is dedicated to building a community where everyone has the opportunity to succeed. We work with businesses, nonprofits, and government agencies to tackle the root causes of challenges facing our community. Our focus is on ensuring children are school-ready, families are financially stable, and everyone has access to quality healthcare. One of the programs we support is the Promise Partnership, which unites schools, businesses, and community organizations to support students from cradle to career. By providing resources, we help students achieve academic success and prepare for a bright future. We also offer the 2-in-1 information and referral service, connecting individuals and families to basic needs such as housing, food, and employment assistance to improve financial and physical stability. Through these efforts, United Way of Salt Lake is making a tangible difference in the lives of thousands of individuals and families. Join us in creating a stronger, more equitable community.
United Way of Salt Lake is transforming lives by addressing community challenges and creating opportunities for all. Learn more about their initiatives and how you can support their efforts to foster lasting change. Visit uw.org. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
Attention homeowners, it's Freeberary at Yes Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electric. Get a free furnace and smart thermostat with the purchase of select new cooling systems. That's right, purchase a new system from the pros at Yes and get a furnace and smart thermostat absolutely free. We offer expert technicians, flexible payment options, and our exceptional service guarantee, ensuring your peace of mind. Request your complimentary consultation from Yes today. Call now or visit theyesmancan.com for details, terms, and conditions.
It doesn't matter if your only neighbors are wildlife or just wild in general. If you work from home or work is technically at home, every homeowner can save money by getting a ThermWise home energy plan from Enbridge Gas. Discover ways to make your home more energy efficient and apply for rebates if you purchase any energy efficient appliances. Schedule a home energy plan from Enbridge Gas at thermwise.com.
Dave, and Dujanovic.
Dave, I was doom scrolling social media the other night. I know you find that hard to believe. And I was just taken aback when I saw somebody had spelled out the word Utahn on their social media video as Utahans. Utah, A-H-A-N-S. Utah, U-T-A-H-A-N-S is how they spelled it out. So it's like Utahans.
Utahans. If you ever spell it like that, I will never say Utahns.
But people do. People do.
Utahans.
Well, enter State Senator Dan McKay. He is introducing Senate Bill 230, which would officially give us the nickname Utahns, which is how I spell it, Utahns. But I have to tell you, when I saw it spelled Utahans, I questioned myself. I've been spelling it Utahns for 35 years. And I'm like, well, maybe I've gotten it wrong all these years. So he wants to make it official that it's spelled like it should be spelled, Utahns.
Now, it seems so obvious to us because, like, that's the way it's always been in my life. I didn't even think of an alternate spelling to Utah.
I wondered if maybe it's when you were growing up here. I didn't grow up here. When you were in school, they taught it both ways or something.
No.
Okay.
I don't know where this Utahan came from because that is absolutely bonkers. But before I get too judgy, because I was ready to lean full in 100% on my judginess on this because it's obviously just Utah, HN at the end. But there's other cities or other states where I'm not entirely certain what they are. Arizonans? Arizona.
Super simple.
So A&S.
Californians.
Okay. Californians, ZZ.
No, you got to say it's Californians.
How do
you say
California.
it, like the SNL episode?
You take Jefferson over to Matheson. Okay.
Coloradans.
Coloradans?
I think.
Coloradoans?
Idahoans.
I think it's kind of the same thing. Idahoans.
Oregonians.
Oregonians?
I think so.
I think you're right there. Is it
Michiganders?
What's Colorado? Is it really? Please tell me it's Michiganders. Did you just make that up? I have no idea what Michigan is.
I was watching a video from the governor, Governor Whitmer, the other night. I think she said Michiganders.
Can somebody give us a text us 57500? There is no way it's called Michiganders, is it?
Floridians,
Texans. Yep, Texans. Oh, Texans is easy.
Ohioans.
Ohioans.
Is it Ohioans? That sounds complicated.
It's got to be Ohioans. You think Ohioans? Oh,
yes.
Hi-ans. Oh, hi. Yeah. So, like I said, before I got too judgy, I started realizing I don't know any of you states. I don't know Michiganders.
I know, like I call Salt Lakers. People live in Salt Lakers.
Not Salt Lakeans.
Phoenicians for Phoenix. Can't even say that. Phoenicians. Okay, so while you're texting us, Michiganders, Coloradoans. I don't know. Somebody's texting us. I still can't say it. Guess I can never live there. I'll just have to pass through there.
It's a Coloradan.
Do you ever just talk around it? You people who live in Colorado.
I suffer through it.
Colorado,
no, I make everybody
residents.
listen to me as I go through all the iterations.
I would talk around it all day long. Yeah, I'm now one of the people who live in Michigan or something like that. You know, I talk around it all day long. Let's see, Utah. Let's see, what about Missouri? Missourians,
yeah.
Mainers. I don't know. Missouri or Maine? I don't know. I grew up there. Oregonian.
Oh, here's one. Connecticuter? Connecticut? Connecticut?
This is wild.
Connecticuter. Wow, this is there is no standard whatsoever. We just start throwing Ians and ers and Coloradan.
Yeah. So we're talking about this because a state senator is trying to narrow down how we refer to Utah residents, and it would be the way I've spelled it for years. It would be embedded into the code that it's Utahns. That's how I've always spelled it. But then I'm seeing it all kinds of different ways. I'm like, I've gotten it wrong all these years, and now I'm embarrassed. But it turns out I haven't. Nobody taught me it either. I just picked it up when I moved here. But I thought it would be kind of fun, Dave, to do a little quiz with you real quick. Do you even know? You don't know if it's Utahns or how'd you say it?
Utahns.
Utahns or Utahns.
Yeah.
Do you know what the state cooking pot is? We have several symbols in this state. I bet you don't know what the state cooking pot is.
It's got to be the Dutch oven.
Oh, how did you get that right?
It's the only possible answer.
There's
Pioneers?
It's the
Dutch
Dutch
ovens?
oven. Yeah, it is a Dutch
All
oven.
right.
The state folk dance.
The steak folk dance?
Yeah, what is a state?
The square dance.
Oh, what's the state fruit?
Am I right on that?
Yes,
I
I
am
cannot
rolling
believe this.
right
You've got
now.
to be over there.
This
just
is crazy.
Sneaking a peek.
Okay.
What's the state fruit?
The state fruit?
Mm-hmm.
Do we even grow fruit here? The
Yes.
tomato?
You got to come on, Dave.
Isn't the tomato a fruit?
No. Peach trees I had in my yard. I had neighbors who had apple
Is it a
trees.
peach?
No, it's the cherry, of course.
Oh, of
cherry. What's the state?
Growing up in the backyard of Cherry Hill, I'm embarrassed. I am embarrassed right now.
Michiganders is confirmed.
Michiganders.
You're welcome. State gem.
The state gem?
Yeah. You don't know, do you?
I don't. Okay, this is probably this. Oh, this is actually super easy. It's the granite.
What? It's
the granite stone gem.
It's the topaz. Hello.
The topaz.
Everybody knows that. What's the state flower?
The sago lily.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
What's the state fish?
Oh, the cutthroat.
Yeah, the cutthroat trout.
Yeah.
What's the state insect?
Oh, is it the locust? Do we hate the locust?
That's the honeybee.
Oh, I overthought that one. We have a hive. We have a hive on our flag, and I'm like, oh, state insect. You know who that's going to be? The locust. Remember when the seagulls came and ate everything? Oh, man, that's embarrassing. That's shameful, Dave.
What's the state mineral?
Well, now I'm embarrassed to everything.
This is
copper.
Copper.
Yeah, it's got to be copper.
Good. Let's see. What is the state vegetable?
Oh, the zucchini.
No, but it should be. Maybe.
Do you know how much zucchini is grown in Utah? And they're grown
I
a
grew
foot
all
long.
Of it. I know why my one zucchini would last us a whole year.
Yeah.
It's
state vegetable.
Yeah, sweet onion. The Spanish sweet onion.
Okay.
State winter sports. We'll go out an easy one.
Yeah.
It's two of them.
Half pipe, snowboard, half pipe.
Not snowshoeing. I think it's snowshoeing.
Cross country and just skiing.
Skiing and snowboarding.
Alpine skiing, yeah.
Skiing and snowboarding. Thank goodness Maria's up next. She's got a lot more coverage on Utah's new news. She's next.
The newest part of your morning and still so familiar.
When you wake up and listen to a radio show, it's like you're a part of a family. You're listening in on people you know, and it's magnificent that Andy Farnsworth is sitting in the chair because he's someone we know.
Utah's Morning News. Andy Farnsworth joins Amanda Dixon to bring you important news in the car. 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
Bish's is skipping this year's big RV show for a big reason. It costs each dealer a fortune, and guess who gets stuck with the bill? Yep, you. So skip the big show expense and come to the Bish's RV Better Than Show Pricing On-Site event, February 13th through the 15th at Bish's RV of Salt Lake and American Fork. You'll get free admission, free parking, and Better Than Show pricing on our entire inventory at both locations. Not just a few models we hauled to the show. Find pricing starting as low as $139 per month on approved credit and make 0 payments until May OAC. Plus, every remaining new 2024 on the lot is on clearance. And Bish's is the only place to shop the exclusive full lineup of Wayfinder RVs. Start shopping the best deals now at skipthervshow.com. Get free admission to the Better Than Show Pricing On-Site event, February 13th through the 15th at Bish's RV in Salt Lake and American Fork, where memories begin. OAC based on 20% down, 8.99% APR for 180 months. Stock number is 84832, 84308. Subject to prior sale. See delivery details. Deal number 822B426B.
Yeah, I'm still reeling with embarrassment. I said that Utah's state insect was the locust. Everyone knows this is the honeybee. I don't know. I totally choked that one away. I know a lot about Utah, but apparently I don't know that one. Well, did you know this about Utah? Utah has some of the hardest water in the entire country. It's why water softeners are so popular in Utah homes. Now, the question you got to ask yourself is, okay, well, what do I need to know about water softeners? Have Kinetic of Utah come out to your house. Let them walk you through and explain to you all the benefits that soft water can bring to your home. Not only do we notice huge differences when we take a shower or a bath, soft water is great for our skin. We really struggle with dry skin in our family, and soft water from Kinetico has been wonderful. We've loved it. But it also helps with your plumbing, right? Your some of your expensive appliances, your laundry, your dishwasher. Have them come out, have Kinetico of Utah come out, walk you through the entire process, and see why, as my wife and I saw it, as an investment into your home, into the long-term health of your home. Reach out to Kinetico of Utah. They're an authorized Kinetico dealer, obviously, just like the name says. 801-576-8600. That's 801-576-8600. Or online at softwaterutah.com.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I've got